Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome you back to Element Competitive Events. We have been away for 2 months waiting for the game to come back into action. I am with my man, as usual, OSK. Say hi to the people.
What's up, everybody? What's up? It's nice to be back finally in a competitive event for the first time in 2 or 3 months. I'm so excited to see all these players come out. We have our first qualifier today competing at the end for a $200 prize pool, and I want to see who's hungry to get that money.
I'm excited as well. And just to break it down for you guys real quick, it is a standard solos tournament. So we're going to be playing 6 games for this event, 3 of which are going to be on NA East and 3 will be on EU. 4 of your 6 games will count towards your final score, and the top final scores from all of the qualifying events will enter the final money round, and that is where all the prizes will be given away. But before we get into all of that complicated business, let's focus on today. OSK, I want to hear some predictions right now about who's going to take this thing home.
All right, so we have a notorious little man, all right? I think both of us are in agreement that he's the favorite to take this first qualifier, and that is T-Foul. Easily one of the best duo partners you can ask for in the last few tournaments that we had before the launch. Also, just a beast in solos. I played with this guy in squads the other day. He was consistently, and I mean like every single game, dropping 10, 11, 12 exiles. Meanwhile, me and my buddy are cleaning up, and we have like 5 total. So he's absolutely insane. I would expect him to take a toxicologist build, maybe even bring out the pyro. But we also might see some conduit action from him as well, since he is a former conduit main. I'm expecting some big things from him.
Yeah, I think T-Foul is a safe bet, and I think if I'm going to throw something to the wind, my vote's going to go to the Darkbreakers. Before the game went down, we saw Darkbreakers coming out in scrims and real events, popping off every single time. He had a crazy build. I think it was Stone Shaper with Wind in the pocket. Don't know if he's going to adjust with this new release and how the new meta is shaping up, but I think he might be able to take it if T-Foul can get caught sleeping. There is some other very, very recognized players as well playing today. Kep, Muffin, and a lot of others, Drasticon, Diego Contra, just to name a few. But the most exciting part to me is that we have so many new faces. A lot of players that I haven't seen before. I saw them in the scrims in the previous weeks, and they were playing excellent. Some players like Gummy and Mancy and others. So I'm excited to see how it all shakes up coming into this. You mentioned that T-Foul will be rocking Toxicologist. What other builds do you think are going to be standard? I think Pyro-focused mana will be common to see, but I want to hear from you what your breakdown is on the classes.
I'm actually right there with you. There are classes like Tempest that are pretty strong right now. The only issue with it is that you pretty much have to play it perfectly for it to be really effective. And I think there's a lot of counterplay to be had there. You might not want to pick it for a tournament round, but also Conduit. That's going to be the big one here. It's easily the strongest class in the game right now. You have between Focus Mana, Potential Energy, and Fervor, you're going to get a whole bunch of damage. I'm talking about like 18 damage plus lightning bolts. And honestly, some of these guys, it's some of the best tracking I've seen, like in terms of FPS, third-person shooter. Like there's going to be some big damage from the Lightning Gauntlet today. I'm predicting.
All right, well, that's a safe bet right there. Conduit as well, we did see in scrims come out quite often. Players like Kep are known for their Conduit. Another player I want to give a shout out to that I'm seeing on the player list is Exile. I'm excited to have him in the game. I know he's a top player. Don't know if I've seen him in many events previously, but to have him come out for the first qualifier is going to be exciting. I'm putting some pressure on Exile here to perform under pressure. I guess if I had to put it through to a top 3, I would go with T-Foul, Darkbreakers, and then I would probably put down Kep as my third. And you might think that I think you're sleeping on Kep, but I'm going to put him down as my third bet. Conduit is strong right now. You talked about it. He's a great Conduit player with good tracking. There's an opportunity here to have some amazing games. This is the first time we've done a tournament with the format where 4 games are counted. Usually it's 5, so there's less room for error. Now we've kind of introduced more of an aggressive game style. We're going to see how that shapes up. I think Kep's going to take advantage of that. Same with T-Foul. And we're going to see exactly what shakes up here. I'd like to hear your top 3. I know you gave T-Foul as your number 1. You mentioned a couple other players, but I want to hear a list so I can call you out at the end of the event. That's what I want, OSK.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're in agreement for the top 2. I think it's going to be T-Foul, then Darkbreakers. But my third, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I'm going to go ahead and pick. I'll tell you what. Can I tie for third? Can I pick 2? I don't think I can narrow it down to 1.
No, absolutely not. I will not allow that.
All right, fine. I'm looking at Soth. Okay, Soth. Sothe. I think he did really well in the beta. We definitely saw some big things from him, and I think he was sort of overshadowed by some of our bigger contenders, but I wouldn't put it past him to bring out third place today. And I definitely think he's going to lay down a ton of damage whenever we get around to it. But here we're gonna start on Styx, another prominent player in the Spellbreak community. Just gonna be looting up nice and easy, nice epic loot on him so far.
Yeah, Styx is actually known for the tree strats. You already see him doing a little bit of stealthy work here with the crouch, teleport in the pocket, but we're going to switch off and look for a fight. Remember, this is game 1 of 6 of the first qualifier. We're looking to have 5 qualifier events, so strap in, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to get cracking. We're looking at Exile with the beautiful new Tundra skin. Looking awesome, got a bit of good gear as well, that Frost notably so. And looking to pick a fight here, does get the freeze off. I'm not sure if the CC applies, but Exile's not going to push up. Again, we see the teleport in the pocket for him has not been used. Got Scavenger as well. This is something I wanted to talk to you about, OSK. The presence of Scav in the solo games. Players take this when they are confident in their ability to push fights. As we look for more action, I want to hear what you think about Scav, but actually really quick, we got Asmule in a battle now. Both players missing the stone, looking to get a recharge now. Boulder up off cooldown, but he hits in midair. One more to finish the kill. This is one tap to one tap. Invis comes out, gets hit. Oh! Vital Stone will give a little bit more time to the opponent as Asmule repositions. He needs to hit this. This is a clutch shot. Boulder comes, but it just barely misses off the tick. And now Asmule has to try to finish off the kill, and it's going to go down. That is the first kill viewed of qualifier number 1. Asmule picks it up. You see in the kill feed, Soft also got a drop. But back to the words that I was saying before. What do you think of Scav, OSK?
Man, Scav is going to be widely used here in the solo. Unlike duos and squads, you actually get the X. Oh my goodness, he just walked right in front of him. What is going on right now? He's in the middle of a fight himself, gets dragon fired for his troubles as well. Going to reposition.
Yeah, takes the shot from deep. Now we see Banana Blade actually looking at 2 different fights from this high ground position. Ooh, lightning damage comes out, uses the iframe from the Frost sorcery, and now drops down for a quick pot. Nice move, I think, to break off the tension here. Look for a quick potion. I think that's probably the best course of action for Banana Blade. Now he's going to look forward, does have the fire with Pyro, taking the aggressive flight rune. It's on common, so the cooldown is long. Drops a wall as well. Takes a nice move with the Firefly there. Now has to hit the Frost, but just barely gets it over the top of the hill. Nice headshot from Banana Blade as he looks for more action. Does get the air shot, but now he misses some crucial targets. Now he's going to reposition himself, OSK. This is a slow fight, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. The main thing is that he's in the middle of quite a few fights here. He's trying to get on the outside part of it, which is the right thing to do. Lays down the flash freeze. That is going to give him a little bit of protection from the lightning and fire as well. He sees his opponent there to the right of your screen, but he is blocked off from line of sight. So he will be able to get the heal off, and there is the reappearance right here, trying to land any sort of snipe he can, trying to reposition around towards the flat ground where his fire can shine. And let's see if he can make it work.
Yeah, this is going to be a crucial shot to hit, but he just barely misses it. Something to note is that Banana Blade does not have any boots. It is so hard to walk yourself out of a lightning sorcery like you're seeing right now when you do not have any move speed. Banana Blade actually just going to reevaluate the fight and probably leave this area totally. Has the flight rune off cooldown now, so the distance can be covered quickly. I think maybe we bounce around now looking for some more action. Still 28 total players in this game 1. Looking at Bones now, but going to keep bouncing because it looks like he's just taking pot shots from deep. We're going to keep on trying to find some action. Love to see all the different skins as we flip through all these players, though, OSK. It's nice to see.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to point out something as well. We can only really fit 25 contestants into a single lobby. So some of these players you're going to see in the kill feed aren't actually part of the tournament. So keep that in mind. I think there's going to be some plays that you might think to yourself, oh, maybe he shouldn't have done that. But we do have to keep in mind that other players are in the lobby as well. And we see Darkbreaker's actually taking the conduit instead of his signature Stone Shaper. That is going to be some big news for him. I guess he might have dropped the Kovacs.
Oh my god! He gets deleted by Sloth with 3 fireballs. When you are boxed into a corner like that, you see a Pyro player and he just eats you alive. That is the 4th kill for Soth. Oh my goodness, he's off to a hot start in game 1. Looks like your sneak prediction might have paid off here, OSK.
Yeah, definitely. Soth's my boy. I told you. He's going to come out here fighting. He is running the Pyro. Very strong build right now as well. Interesting to take the dexterity and harmony over the fervor and runic fluency, but it looks like it's working out quite well for him as he has 4 exiles so far, like we said. Styx finds himself outside of the zone as well, going to try to walk back in, and now we are on exile, just looting up for a little bit better. Finds himself in a fight, though, and he misses the Vanishing Mist proc there. Going to have to reposition. He does not know where his opponent is.
Yeah, Diego Contra gets a kill. You can see that in the kill feed along with T-Foul as we see the action unfold. Exile gets away from that front side, doesn't look for the re-engage right away, but is now just repositioning, looks for an ice shot, just barely misses it, and the second one misses as well. It looks like most players now have picked up their dash runes, got their mobility in the pocket, so the fights will start to see a lot of quick action. Exile looking for more shots, but doesn't land anything from deep. 2 kills to his name so far, so quite a solid start, I must say, in Game 1. You can never complain about a 2-kill good loot start in Game 1, and we'll see if he can translate that to more success. You see the lightning coming down, but it doesn't connect. It does have Scav with no points in it, so it does bring you, I think, 40 total HP plus armor, which is decent, but not as ideal as some of the other setups. We're looking at Asduel now, just take shots from the top. The Pyro was making it rain on him as he does get his way out. Stone Shaper really suffers in these environments with high hills. Looking for some shots of his own, but just taking them as well. Common stone for him, so it's doing nothing as he's getting chased out here. Asduel is in trouble, OSK.
Yeah, and I think if players don't know right now, tree strats are actually not very viable in the game right now. We need to find a good push, I guess. But he's running the Stone Shaper and misses the dash. The dash got its momentum stop from the rampart on the wall there. So he actually is in quite a bit of trouble right now. Any sort of big stone damage is going to take it, and Drasticon does it right now.
Yeah, but it's an unfortunate situation because Drasticon finishes the kill, but he's getting chased right away. This is such a sketchy fight to take right into a third party, but Drasticon is confident. Look at him push it. The teleport comes out from his opponent, so he has no care in the world. He is running the classic 2-2-2 with a variation on the recovery. Instead, he's running Thirsty, so that's an interesting build to see. You know that Drasticon is potentially anticipating some long fights if he's taking that Thirsty. Looking for some resets, looking to maybe shake line of sight as much as possible. And we see Hammy McBeard, and we're going to keep on rotating because that's not right. We see Lord Pingu as well push off a player with Flight Rune. It is so interesting to see all these different solo builds come out as we see Pingu push, goes for the air shot, doesn't quite connect now. Spring Step off cooldown, so you're going to wait to see him burn it. Still patient with the Spring Step. Always nice to see that level of patience from a player as Pingu looks to secure a kill of his own, but it's not going to go, and I think it will be stolen. T-Foul is the one to take it. Dragon Slayer goes down and Kep kills Diego Contra in the kill feed. Action everywhere on the map. We see more and more fights. Stone Slam from Pingu as he gets an armor break on the teleporting opponent. More fights to come, OSK. This is going down.
Yeah, and I would imagine that Adept that just teleported away is going to be T-Foul. It looks like he is in the right direction. And Pingu actually spots someone in the house. Doesn't quite land any shots on him, though. He is rocking the Stone Shaper, so no extra radius on the Fireball from Combust. He is going to go ahead and become even more godly with that beautiful Spirit Scroll and get another charge into recovery. But he is just sitting. He's going to go ahead and loot. We're going to hop on to some different sorts of action right here. Not quite what we wanted to see, the break, but they are starting to converge quite well. And T-Foul finds himself another target. This is going to be an interesting fight. They're about equal in terms of health. Conduit versus Conduit. Let's see what happens.
T-Foul does have the Spell Slinger talent. Look at him.
Oh my gosh!
Gummy goes down. T-Foul just dunks him with that lightning press down, and that's going to be his 4th kill of the game. T-Foul's off to a nice start, but does take a DF straight to the face. Now has to rotate. Look at a beautiful fireball as he just moves back and forth so clean. The teleport's going to come up thanks to Conduit. He's going to try to get out of this one, OSK. This is not a great situation for T-Foul, who's looking like a favorite in this qualifier number 1.
Definitely, definitely. And you saw that little head fake that he gave inside the tree. He knew that his opponent was going to try to lead that fireball, but he made just a little movement to back himself up and get a good teleport off. Excellent stuff, T-Foul. He is one of the best movement players in the game. And now we see Lazy Sloth trying to get a nice little shot. Doesn't quite have the line of sight, though. Not the kind that we would like. Maybe we'll bounce around and get another angle on this. There has to be some heavy action going on. Guns Game's playing for placement, and now we have Kep getting just blocked off by the flash freeze, trying to style on his opponent. Almost gets head faked, but okay, he did get head faked. He's going to rotate out.
Yeah, that was unfortunate right there. The air shot would have done him a lot of good. With Pyro, you know that the Ignite tick keeps damage on, and what's so important about that is that it keeps the person's name card visible to the player. So if Kep hits a fireball there, he gets a little bit of extra assist with his tracking when that fight goes on. Nonetheless, he misses it and now looks for high ground. Kep does miss those shots as well. Keep in mind, he's playing from EU to NA due to the system we have of 3 games NA, 3 games EU to make it fair for everybody. So I'm just trying to back up Kep right now. I'm in his corner fighting for him as he misses more air shots. And his combust is going to be up, or his conflagration, excuse me. So his AoE is just nothing but high damage right now.
Yeah, and you're seeing a little bit of weakness in his kit right now. He doesn't have any long-range options, so he's not going to be able to poke very well. He is an up-close and personal fighter right now, and we can see he's going to drop off the tower, unfortunately, going to use all of his movement options to get back up. Not enough mana on him to really keep up a sustained fight, but he does a very good job of keeping it in a position to where he can still land some spells. He has the dash off cooldown. Unfortunately, his opponent does have, looks like, a little bit of runic fluency going on. He's going to try to rotate right around, but unfortunately can't get any more damage off. He's going to have to take the quick heal.
That was a master class on fighting Stone Shapers. Did you see Kep bouncing from those different pillars, keeping the Stone Shaper balanced in the middle? What a great way to fight that one off. Kep just dealing out the big damage as he looks for more fights. Kep is such an aggressive player. It is such a pleasure to have him in this game and watch him for this qualifier as we see him unload his sorceries. Nothing is going to connect right now. DF in the pocket, throws the cloud, but no damage to follow. Kep just using the side of this cliff. It is such a pleasure, once again, let me say it, to see this man's positioning and movement as he goes forward now. Misses fireballs though. Teleport comes out. He's going to have to keep chasing. This is some aggressive play as he looks to reset onto the high ground now. Getting shot with lightning from the back. Takes a fireball too. This is a contested area of the map as he SP dashes backwards. He continues to get pushed. Fireball to his face, but it's only the side of the AoE, so the Ignite doesn't stay. Kep trading! Dashes comes out now. He has one shot on his opponent. That was an insane amount of damage. He tracks to the side of the cliff. He might be able to finish it now, but he has to get out of this. There's a third party on the way, OSK.
Yeah, and we're seeing the power of recovery right here. It does allow him to give those sustained fights quite well. Unfortunately, the Scavenger isn't going to proc because he can't finish anyone off. That's so unfortunate for him, but we see Frozen rocking the Frost. Excellent name for an excellent gauntlet. And he is finding himself in the middle of quite a few contestants, but look at the movement. It's so smooth. And he has that extra rune charge on cooldown as well. He might even run into Kep, but it seems that he's not going to run into anybody. He has a free spot to heal right here.
I want to give a massive shout out to Frozen right now for the fact that I'm 99% sure he is a release player. He has never played the game until release. He's already out here in comp events going hard, trying his best, and you love to see that. Now we see Styx on his own up at the top with Toxicologist. This is going to be a tight fight for Toxicologist, using his typical tree strats. I mentioned this at the start of the game. We all know him for it as he hides himself in this tree. Let's bounce around because I'm going to throw up if I have to keep watching this gameplay. Now we see Banana Blade take a fireball from the top side, does have teleport, uses it, but he gets burned. Oh, what a blunder. Banana Blade accidentally teleports out of the map and takes damage for it. And now it looks like Live goes down to Styx off the DF AoE. Scavenger will give Styx a bit of resources back for that kill, but he has to focus on finishing this game now. 4 people left, not including the one we're spectating, as he throws a bit of Toxic to make it rain. Looking for some more damage now, OSK. This is going to be a hard fight to take for a Toxicologist for sure.
Yeah, definitely. A bunch of fire flying around. You're not really going to be able to activate the Vanishing Mist safely. You're going to have to be really, really good with it if you're going to get anything done. And now we see Pingu rocking the Stone Shaper, finding out why exactly it is that the stone isn't exactly overpowered, as many have said. That different level of platform is really playing into his weakness right now, and he's about to get Dragonfire towards trouble. Not enough fire to really make it set off, and now he's just going to be dipping into all of this damage over time, and he is in the lower ground. This is not good for him right now, but that hiding spot is going to do him very well. We pop over to T-Foul, and he is just going to be landing every shot. I'm waiting for a pop-off right now.
Yeah, I'd love to keep the camera on T-Foul for just a second here as he's low HP in a desperate spot. He has to make some big moves here. No scav on his talent, so it's not going to be resources coming through kills.
Oh, look at that.
Burn! Styx goes down, but T-Foul too low to finish. Pingu gets a kill with the boulder, and now we see a 1v1 trade. Firewall comes down. This one's going to come down to the wire as the flight comes out. Pingu's trying to hit a desperate air shot, but he's going to have to look for what's coming his way now. Such a typical strategy to fly up and throw AoE. There it comes down as Pingu does avoid it. Both Stone players are trading back and forth. This is a battle of the S keys as they look to just keep slamming the keyboard, finish the game for game 1 here. Who's going to take it? It looks like Pingu has control. One more slam is going to do it, but he gets broken down, and that's game 1, ladies and gentlemen. Pingu takes it home. What a surprise.
What an absolute surprise. I want to call something out as well, that those were 2 Stone Shapers. That is not something that I was expecting. Now, as far as placement goes, there is quite a bit of points that goes towards placement, but there isn't a lot of disparity between first, second, and third. As long as you're in that top echelon, you're going to be doing well. We're mostly focused on damage and exiles. And I think that's where Tfal really shined. We saw at the very end there, he had 7 exiles in, I think, a 3rd place position, which is very, very good. That's going to do very well for him. And congrats to Pingu for winning the first game. This is a man whose name I don't recognize from beta. We're going to take another look at that fight here in just a second. But I don't recognize him from beta. I think he's a launch player, and he won the very first game of the very first competitive event. Very nice.
And for people who've been with Element for a while now, this is a new feature, ESPN Instant Replays, thanks to the production manager, Docta. He figured this one out, and look at the beauty. This is Pingu finishing the game with a clutch slam. He did not get pressured by all that damage coming his way. He finishes off game 1 as the victor. We are looking to get into game 2 soon now. We're going to just keep talking about what we saw throughout that game. Tfal did go down. You mentioned that he had 7 kills. And for anybody else who is new to our events, finishing a game with 7 kills in 3rd place is almost as good as winning the whole game itself. You get so many points for your damage, for your exiles, along with placement. So regardless if he didn't finish in 1st, I think Tfal is happy with his game 1. If he can continue that effort, then we're going to see a huge showing from him for sure.
All right. I want to point out here, first of all, I have the scoring on my other monitor here. The damage he put out was almost 2,000, and that's the big. Yeah, I know, and no one's even close to it. So that's the sort of thing we're going to need to see. Damage is actually the heaviest stat that we track in the scoring. So him getting almost 2,000 compared to everyone else, that is amazing for him. And he got 3rd place, so he's only going to be about maybe 10 or 15 points down. But that damage is really gonna carry him. And we saw him, the masterful tracking with that conduit skill. He is closing out kills quickly, which is very, very good for him. Also, just great performance all around, really. There were a few people like Darkbreakers who I was expecting to be a little bit higher. He just found himself in an unfortunate situation, and that's why we have best 4 out of 6 games. So we can dump that one away, and I want to see him shine the next one.
Yeah, definitely a good point right there. Darkbreakers needs to come out with a hotter game. Thanks to that system of being able to throw away 2 of your games, he's not in too much of a troubled spot right now. I think the message to push from that game 1, though, is how these new players, or released players, I should say, are performing in their first competitive environment. Players like Soft, players like Pingu taking the game itself. It is such a pleasure to see them come through and put in some work. I know a lot of people hate Stone Shaper. They want to talk smack about Stone Shaper, but they still took a game in a competitive environment, so that deserves some credit, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking to get into game 2 as soon as possible. Now we're just going to keep on waiting for the players to lobby up and get into the action. Do you have any predictions if people are going to change up the classes? Do you think Tfal is going to stick with his conduit build, or do you think he might go the pyro route that has been so popular in scrims?
You know what? He's so good at tracking right now. We saw that on the camera. I mean, we just saw the game. We could see him hit almost every single shot that he was trying to fire with that lightning. I think he's good to stay the way he is. Just an unfortunate situation that he found himself in. He was already low and he had 2 more people to fight. So that's just kind of last circle shenanigans for him. As far as changing up the strategy, I really don't see it. At least not until we have the server change. Everyone playing right now, whether you're EU playing NA or later whether you're NA playing EU, whenever you have that lower ping, you're going to be able to play more aggressively and be more confident in your shots. So until that halftime break rolls around, I think everyone's pretty much going to be staying the same.
And just a heads up for everybody in chat, if you want to see the scoreboard and see where all of your favorite players are placing right now, you can hit the commands with Nightbot. It should be !scores or !scoreboard, one of those 2. And you'll be able to see a document that shows you where everybody's placing, game 1, 2, 3, 4, and etc. And you can see exactly what we see when we're talking about these breakdowns right now. I expect to see T-Foul maybe come through and take a game in game 2. I want to see Diego Contra show up for some big plays. I know he's a player that some people do not consider in the top of competitive, but I do. He's a very, very talented player. We saw him innovate with a huge Frostborn build in the last patch in closed beta. I'm excited to see if he can maybe make some differences here in these next games. The end of Qualifier 1 will be a tight race, I believe.
Yeah, and speaking of builds, a talent I wasn't expecting to see so much of was Scavenger. And I think that just speaks to kind of the third-party nature of what we're seeing in these games. If you can land a quick last hit on an exile, technically that exile counts for you and you get the regeneration from it. And if you're being jumped on by 3 or 4 people, if you can kill one of them, then you're getting all of that recovery back as far as health and armor. So this is something that I wasn't expecting to see so much of in comparison to Fervor, which increases your cast speed. But I'm interested to see how the meta shapes itself, starting with game number 1 here. And we're going to be hopping into game number 2 here pretty quickly.
Yeah, it looks like we're just about to wait for the drop to finish, and we're going to show you guys the results and show you guys the action in game 2 as it breaks down for you right in front of your very eyes. I'm excited to see if we get more fights on drops. Something else to note is that there wasn't much of a mid-game lull in game 1. It was just action all throughout the map, and that's what we love to see. Now we're looking to find some early fights for sure. Bouncing around with that beautiful loading screen as we see Nash in a bit of a scrap now. Guns gets a kill, you see that in the kill feed, looks for some lightning damage off the top, does have an epic lightning to start, so the damage is going to be high, but the firewall nonetheless pushes him out of this AoE. He is so low now, one shot will do it, does find a clutch belt, which will give him the HP to take one more shot, but not much to say the least. He's going to have to try to use the sorcery effectively now, does have Flight Rune, just in time to break his way out of the fight. Should try to drink a pot if he can get away with it. Nash with the beautiful skin, looks good with the Flight Rune, trying to poke a bit more lightning, but it's not going to do it, OSK. Diego Contra gets 2 kills. You see that in the kill feed. That's a great start for him in this game 2.
Yeah, and he actually takes down Muffin, who is another contestant of ours, and we see Darkbreaker's taking down Drasticon quite early. That's going to be really, really good for his score, coming out with the exile and damage, and now we see Ket on the Tempest. I did not expect to see him on the Tempest at all, actually. This is a very, very nice change of pace. Now, he opts to not run the Fervor, which would give you a little bit more reliable movement on the Tempest class, given that the wind jumps come from your wind gauntlet and how fast you can dish it out. So, interesting choice for him here. I think he's opting for the healing as opposed to the sheer movement of the class, which it could work out well for him. Rocks the recovery and the harmony as well. Which is a little bit different than what I was expecting. But he does find himself in the high ground position. Going to lay down the damage over time and raining from above. Let's see how it ends up
with
for
the
him.
play right there. Hits him with multiple winds and follows it up to the fire in the face. And another air shot. Only needs to finish it with the wind here, but he's a bit impatient. Taking fire shots over the top now. A bit overkill. Could just spam it with wind. Maybe he wants the respect kill as he looks for a TP opportunity. Gets to the top side now, looking for that shot. But his opponent escapes a little bit. Kep now going to try to track this one down and finish the kill, but it's not going to happen. Recovery is going to do him some benefit as he jumps out of the way of the boulder, but still takes some firewall damage. A little bit of wind jumping action, throwing down a firewall of his own, but it doesn't connect. And the fireballs don't either. Kep might have to just push off of this one, OSK. This is looking a bit sketchy.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about with Tempest gameplay. It's a very strong class, but you have to play it perfectly. You have to land those shots, or it's going to be just you floating and the other guy trying to hit you, not really much happening. So it's unfortunate for him he wasn't able to land those air shots. He was a little bit far away from his target, so it's not going to work out well for him. But we see Darkbreaker's on the Conduit still. He is rocking the Pyro in the offhand instead of the Stone that we know him for. He actually, I take that back. He's running Spellslinger and has Stone pocketed. So, interesting thing you can do with Spellslinger, you can put extra runes and extra gauntlets in your inventory, and that fire is going to do some work for him right now.
Wow, Darkbreaker's with the aggressive flight back-to-back, just stuffing fireballs into his opponent's face. Now he knows that he's fighting a Tempest, so he's going to have to slow this fight down just a little bit. Taking some Toxic in the back now, drops a nice lightning sorcery, but it doesn't connect. Darkbreaker's now looking to try to finish the kill. A little bit more lightning pressure going to be applied. So close to finishing the kill, but it's not quite enough. Darkbreakers needs to get a pocket to finish this one off before a third party comes in. Conduit going to do a little bit of good here if he drops the rune.
Oh, no.
If he drops the sorcery, I apologize. Looking to get around the side, but he's completely lost his opponent, and now he's going to back out. T-Foul gets a kill onto Prial Plague, and we see more and more movement coming through. Lightning shooting out to the top. We see another Tempest from the front, and Darkbreakers is going to try to close this one out. Look at the Lightning.
Nice third party.
Could finish the secure here. Yes, that is a beautiful third party, to say the least. As he looks to get the kill, going to be one more.
There it is.
Horrified goes down through the Darkbreakers. Lightning zaps. That's going to be his third kill of the game, OSK. That's a hot start for him as well. Him and Diego both killing it to begin this game too.
Yeah, this is more his speed. This is exactly what I wanted to see from him. He is able to track all these players down, which is very nice. And you'll see live in the kill feed taking out Kep. High hopes for the Tempest, but unfortunately Lightning is a gauntlet, and it is a Tempest counter. So he does feel the power of the Lightning Gauntlet on that one. And we see a nice third party coming out from Dragon Slayer 1661. Let's see if he can go ahead and seal something out here.
Yeah, that was not exactly ideal. You guys saw him prep the DF, but he didn't land the damage. Now he's going to be fighting a Stone Shaper in a bit of a flat terrain. Has the hill to use to his advantage, but not going to push this too aggressively. Definitely just trying to play this slow, but sees the third party come in, and now he's going to have to back off of this one hard. Does have a nice skin, so at least he's got that going for him as he looks for a couple air shots. Throws another AoE DF, but does not connect. That was too telegraphed. Does have dash off cooldown. You see it come out right there, looking for a little bit more cover. Takes some Toxic in the face.
Oh, no.
Dragon Slayer, you are in trouble, my friend, as he gets rained down on with the corrosive Toxic. Looking again to reposition. Doesn't see where his opponent is. You don't want to use your firewall like that, but he is going to peel out of this one completely. No kills to his name, and this is certainly not going to be a kill nonetheless.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to have to play for placement. And this Soth, on the other hand, has 3 exiles rocking into the middle of a fight here. This is beautiful stuff coming in from him. He knows when to rush in, and this is a perfect opportunity for him to land some free damage. No armor on his opponent, and he's going to be able to just swoop right in with that spring step and get the last little hits. Unfortunately, invalid target from his opponent, but finally gets it on the second one.
Yeah, Soth almost got a freebie right there thanks to the teleport bug that has been patched for the most part, but still every once in a while it pops up and you see it almost get Soth a kill right there. But now he's going to trade again. Nice reaction time to blow up that cloud right on time. Misses the air shots that are going to be crucial, but still some hard WP action coming out from the Pyro like you expect. Another nice usage of his spring step to use his momentum as he takes a huge shot to the face, but returns an air shot of his own. AoE. Oh, another nice reaction time from Soth, as he does take a Toxic stuff to the side, but now he's flying into all sorts of problems as he takes more damage and more fight. This is about 5 people in this one area, OSK, as this is breaking down in front of our eyes. Soth now just getting chased off the front, looking for an opportunity to pot up. Gonna find it right here, but this does not feel safe to me. I think he's too exposed. This could be a sketchy pot spot.
I'll tell you what, if anyone knows where to pot, it's going to be Soth. He must have seen something in the clouds or something that told him, hey, it's safe here, even though it's flat, you're fine. And we're seeing the difference between a public lobby and what we call a competitive lobby. Everyone is able to really use that movement that they have innate in their runes and their classes very, very well. So kills are going to take a lot longer to come out. And you really need to be able to seal it quickly, especially if you're going to be running Scavenger, because if they get away, you don't get any healing, and you also don't get any points for exile. So we're seeing that really play out quite well. And now we have Lord Pingu, winner of the first game, and he is trying to rock his stone skin as much as he can, but he's being targeted by about 2 people, including a Frost player, which is dangerous.
Yeah, although Pingu did take the victory in last game, it looks like this is going to be too much for him. He's rotating into new fights and new players, but he does force the teleport out of his opponent. One thing I wanted to quickly address while the action unfolds in front of us is the fact that a lot of people expected competitive lobbies like this to have super slow games, to get into final circles with 20 plus people still in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only 13 people in here as we get to the final stages. This is going fast as Lord Pingu is getting pressured. Beautiful usage of high ground from his opponent, but he does get patient with it, waiting for his chance to hit the stone slam. One fireball will do it, but he doesn't connect. Now his opponent takes a teleport. You see the deep boulder, throws it, just barely misses off the top, and another teleport comes out. This is the trouble of chasing conduits. Look how hard it is to track that all the way across the map. But nonetheless, Pingu saves his own life by doing that maneuver. If he doesn't put out that much damage, he's a dead man walking, as Banana Blade is looking to benefit from this loot.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not very educated in his scrolls right there. Needs to find some more reading material. And now we see Exile about to hit this frost shot. There it is. One more will do it, and he misses the second one. Unfortunate for him. Rocking the Toxicologist Spellslinger build. Interesting. We have the close range options. We have the the long range options as well. And look at that AoE he's able to put down with the fire as well. That's going to be coming in handy in the final circles. He actually snipes through both of the windows in that building. Interesting little flex there, but he isn't able to find a target, so he's going to have to maybe switch off, get some better positioning. There's another target there. He must have heard someone in the back behind him because he is not engaging.
I gotta say though, the fact that he's running Spellslinger and has a common dash means that his cooldown for that is so long. 6 seconds before he can use his movement. You see it right there, but he does still avoid the lightning sorcery. Nice work from Exile as he throws out a beautiful Toxic to return. This is some really good positioning despite the fact that he has a high cooldown, on dash. Replaces that with an epic, so that's gonna help out his cause just a little bit as he takes a fireball in the backside. Remember, he's Toxicologist, so he has to be patient with this cloud. Nice movement! Beautiful slide out from Exile. He might have created enough space, but I don't think so. Look at him get chased down. There is an open window in the top, so we've got to be careful.
Whoa.
As he does get away for the moment. 8 people left in the game. This game is shrinking down quickly. As Exile, I thought for sure that was going to connect. That looked so promising. But nonetheless, it does not land, and Exile has to repossession. We are going to look for somebody who may be in a bit more of a central position, and that might be T-Foul. Full HP, dumping out the lightning damage, OSK.
Yeah, definitely. T-Foul is rocking with 9 exiles right now. Holy moly. Look at him go, trying to reposition his teleport, and he has the dash in his inventory with that Spellslinger build for the late game. We saw him actually break this down in a recent video interview. And now it looks like he's just trying to find any sort of target he can. He doesn't have to run the scavenger. He's pretty confident in his abilities to seal out kills quickly without taking damage. And we're seeing that right now. Look at him go. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful play from T-Foul, using the sorcery to force his opponent out and then getting himself into an opportune position to make the kill. But the DF does get eaten by T-Foul, and now he's looking to reposition himself, gets a little bit more high ground. Wow, that was a surgical kill on Banana Blade. 10 for T-Foul in this game too. He is popping off right now.
Look at that sorcery work. Oh my goodness.
You don't have time to TP, Diego. He is down. That is 11 for T-Foul with 3 people remaining. If I see a 14 bomb in game 2, I might have to leave, OSK.
Look, I just want to point out, this man is on mouse and keyboard. There is no controller on this man. This is all pure tracking. And this is what I was calling out earlier before the game started. T-Foul is a beast on tracking. And Conduit is really paying off for him right now. This is 100% bona fide T-Foul action, and I wouldn't expect anything less. Double digits already going into the final 4 of this final circle. And now we have Soth trying to find some action on him. He sees T-Foul's handiwork out there, and he is kind of leaving himself floated above where T-Foul can take advantage of this. It looks like we have another lightning user here. I don't think this is T-Foul here. His fireball cancels out one of the lightning bolts, but he is just getting bolted down in the open area. This is not what you want to do. You want to block off the line of sight. You want to have some cover around you so you can approach. And oh my gosh, dude, T-Foul's just doing work.
Yeah, T-Foul's going to continue his reign of terror on this lobby. Did you see everybody else has lightning or long-range weapons? You see Soth trying to move through the map and just getting beamed from all directions. Nonetheless, T-Foul is completely read up on all of his talents, 3s on everything. He is well educated. He did all of his class readings before today, fully read up on the topic. 11 kills to his name, and he might just drop a huge bomb in game 2. You can almost secure qualifiers outright if you blow up like this. And T-Foul's looking to prove his point. Has the flight room with Daphne.
Oh no. Oh no! Oh, the armor is gone.
Distance, uses a beautiful firewall from no vision, and now he's going to reset his self. Hits another beautiful one. Benefits from the fact that an opponent hits in CC. Gummy God does secure the kill onto Sauce. Now there's 2 players left and T-Foul. 3 total as we see the results of this game come down. T-Foul hits some more air shots. Look at him try to hit the midair as well, but it doesn't quite connect. And we see a flying Toxic Cloud throw through. T-Foul just full HP, full armor, and full confidence as he looks to end this game. More stuff coming through on the top. That's 12s all around the board. T-Foul throws out sorceries, and he is looking to just clean this game up. Where are you teleporting to? First it was Diego, now it's Gummy God. T-Foul is the gatekeeper right now as he's finishing off this lobby. He's honestly letting this guy pot. He has no mercy.
He hit that one too. He hit that one 3.
One more to finish the game. He does actually need a huge frost drop, but that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. 4 kills to his name in the kill feed. Finishes off that game with what I think was a 13 bomb. That is just ridiculous. I need to see a replay of that end game situation.
That wasn't a game. That was a slaughter. T-Foul was just out here with a 13 Exile bomb, and we're seeing peak Conduit gameplay. I mean, that was a 2-shot. That's not really that impressive. But look at the shot behind the hill. He actually connects this, sees him out of the corner of his eye, and boom, direct fireball, no combust. That is straight in your face. He does hold the sorcery float for the freeze, and then one more fireball will do it. And
that was just a chain of fireballs right there. We know T-Foul's aim is ridiculous, and now he's just completely flexing on everybody in this lobby. That was certainly a 13 bomb to remember. That is only game 2 of 6, ladies and gentlemen. We have more action like that coming out consistently through today's event. T-Foul making a statement there. We talked about it after game 1 as well, that he wants to maybe prove himself a bit more. He had a solid game 1. I'm not trying to talk right now, but to come out and do a game like that just shows the level of dominance. A couple other players did get wiped out a bit earlier than I expected, namely Darkbreaker's not turning up as much as I thought he might be, but it is a tough game to adjust to right off release. T-Foul showing that he can adjust quite well, though.
Oh my gosh, dude. This is exactly what we were expecting, too. I mean, did anyone think any less of T-Foul? He's had a track record of winning a lot of our events, and now he's in a qualifier with, yes, he has good competition, and I was expecting it to be a lot closer in the first 2 games, but he's going to have at this rate, he's going to have his 4 games that are going to be counted like right now. I mean, there's no one that's matching him right now. We saw the slaughter. I mean, no one else is coming close to 13 exiles. I don't know what you can do to pass him up. Maybe you're just playing for placement at this point to try to get into the finals. But at this rate, T-Foul is going to take qualifiers quite easily.
You know what's really, really scary to think about? If T-Foul can throw away 2 of his games and he's playing like this to start, he can just start W-keying the lobby, because if he dies, the game is a throwaway anyway. He is going to be a menace, and I know T-Foul is an aggressive player. He's not scared to do something like that. You guys better be prepared for another pop-off. I'm predicting another 10-plus bomb at least one more time out of these remaining 4 games. I want to keep everybody updated who may be newer to Element events. We do take a halftime break after the 3rd game. The next game coming up is the 3rd match, so there will be a video that shows about 14 minutes of content. You guys can all consume that when we take a break and come back to finish it. Again, these games are all being played on NA East, and then the next 3 are going to be played on EU. So we'll see a little bit of a switch up. I know it doesn't make too much of a difference to a lot of these experienced players, but I just wanted to keep that mentioned for anybody who may be new to Element. And also welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you're enjoying the event.
Definitely. And like we say after every game, if you do want to keep up with the scores, you can go ahead and type in that command, ¡scores or !scoreboard, whichever the one the mods have on right now. I want to point out, though, if you're looking at that scoreboard at game 2, you remember I mentioned that T-Foul had almost 2,000 damage, and that was like really, really high. T-Foul in that last game got over 2,500, and it's not close. Oof. So he's just doing work, man. The conduit tracking ability is just coming out. And in game 3 here, I'm just expecting more of the same. I don't know what else we can do. I mean, he could pretty much run anything he wants at this point in time. He's hitting everything, even his fireballs he's hitting. And we're just going to go ahead, dive right in. We see Guns Games dropping in on an opponent. He doesn't have the high ground to start, going to burn a little bit of mana. And that Stone Shaper hopefully works out well for him, because he is in the middle of a hot contest.
Yeah, he's dropping some bombs on the front side of this player. He does have that Stone Shaper early regen with the armor, so he has an advantage fighting into this Tempest player who looks like he's in a lot of trouble. This could be some free score for Guns Games to secure early on in the game. It's crucial to do so, as Soft gets a kill onto Drasticon, which is huge for him, as Asmiel also finishes a kill, and there is the kill we were watching with our own eyes. That's going to be one for Guns to start us off here. We're going to keep on bouncing around looking for more fights. We got a ton of action to start this off, and again, I'm going to mention it. I've been surprised with how little lull. There's been no mid-game slowness. There's been very quick pace, lots of kills coming into the final circle as we see Soft continue his aggression. An Alacrity player is going to run through the bottom. We have to assume that's Diego Contra, as a fireball might do some damage here. Soft doesn't even try to take it, though, as he's just looking primarily for position. Getting up into the top side now, sees that his opponent has pretty high armor. Soft has to play it slow as he sees that Asmiel did die to the front. A very high IQ play to focus on picking up the legendary fire, and that air shot almost connects now, looking for another turn. Soft just working for it. He has Harmony. He doesn't care about your freeze. Get out of my lobby, says Soft, and that's going to be his second kill of the game. Has to be careful. You have to imagine a third party might jump on him now.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting. A lot of these players are opting for the Harmony, and you see it paying off dividends right there very, very nicely. Despite being a 3-value talent, it's being picked quite a bit. And now we're hopping around trying to find some action. It looks like we might have some. Yep, there we go. This man looks like he doesn't know where he is. He's going to get Vital Stoned. And now one more sorcery will do it, and that's all she wrote.
Nice kill from Danny De La Paja as he finishes the drop onto Banana Man 500. That's going to be a nice finish with the Lightning Sorcery as we keep on bouncing around trying to find some more fights. This one did come through a little bit slower than our previous matches. I think T-Fel might have scared the entire lobby. I'm not sure. As Pingu now looks for a fight of his own, taking a couple shots of his own, landing some too, and now taking a dash ring straight up. Has the Common Stone, so his damage isn't high. But right as I say that, he switches it out for an Epic, and that is going to be a big boost as he looks for a Sorcery 2. Dash off cooldown now, looking to push his advantage. Pingu does a great job slamming that death to the floor as a boulder comes through and he eats it in the face. Has to keep note that his opponent has Fortitude. Gonna have to play it a bit slower here as Pingu has 2 greens, dash and lightning as he takes his dash backwards. Gonna try to get a bit more reset. Does have recovery to help him out for this sustained fight. Nice usage of the sorcery right there. AoE's key in these Fort Halcyon fights, OSK.
Yeah, and we noticed there that his Fortitude is actually burned if he's running it at all. I didn't see a shine, but he does have that Lightning Gauntlet, so we can just get a quick little tag, and we see some Cerber action, and now we're back into it. All right, he has the Stone, so it's going to travel down all that terrain, but it can't travel up that well. So his opponent playing this very, very nicely. All he needs to do is just avoid the area of effect from that Lightning Sorcery for every 15 seconds, and he's doing quite well.
Yeah, he finishes off a nice kill as we see Pingu taking some shots too. He does have that 1 to his name, trying to land a little bit more. I think he should prioritize using lightning to take out this flying target. Does have his lightning out now. He's going to have to take it slow again. 21 people left in the game. Darkbreaker's getting a kill in the kill feed. Exile also getting a kill. Maybe we bounce off of this fight because this one is very, very long pace. Getting jumped on now. Both players do have dash ring. You see,
there we go. One more.
Huge slam. But he actually ate one as well. You didn't see it due to his dash backwards, but he took a huge shot. Now he's down to just about 25 HP. Recovery is going to help him. It actually does help a lot when you're getting ignited. Oh, but soft connects. He is just showing up today.
He really, really is. And he has that epic belt as well. Quite a bit of shields to go around. And he's just going to heal up. He is quite far outside of the zone. But look at that number of exiles. He has 4 already. That's going to do very well for him. Not only does it boost your own score, but it also limits the amount of people that other people can get exiles from that they can boost their score off of. So very, very nice early game from Soth. And I want to try to hop around here. Maybe we can find some more action. Nice sorcery float from Live there. I still haven't mastered it myself, but that's why I'm casting. And now we see a nice little lightning duel. Live is going to take the losing part of that trade. Going to opt for the big shield. Going to get that overheal and maybe dash in. Or maybe not. We're just gonna keep trading. We're going to say smork it. Let's go ahead and put lightning into each other. And not much else.
Yeah, both players just looking to rack up the damage score, it looks like, as Live is going to back up. Does have really good amulet, boots, and belt, so he could try to push this fight, but he's going to play a bit more passive. No kills to his name so far in Game 3, and he might just bounce over to a new player as we see him take more pot shots from deep.
We're still here.
That is Mancy. So look at the rotation here. The spectator switches right to the other angle as Mancy is on the other side of the cliff. Does have 2 stacks of teleport, and look at that. Another opponent dares to show his face in front of Mancy, and he just drops him down with the high damage. None of those fireballs will land, though, as he looks to recontinue his strikes of lightning. Drops a nice teleport, quick to get behind the opponent. This is definitely not somebody who's ready for the work. Mancy decides to keep him followed. Teleport off cooldown, so we know he's going to be chasing that one through. Gets a little bit more up on the top. Needs to get one more fireball. That will finish Mancy's first kill of Game 3. We are already down to only 18 people left in the game. This one is draining out quickly, partially due to Soft's aggressive playstyle and a lot of unexpected kills to start us off. Kep does get a drop as well with fire. He may have switched over to Pyro. Diego Contra with a kill on his name as well, and T-Fel is who we're spectating. This man popped off in Game 2. If anybody has just joined us, T-Fel dropped a 13 exile game in Game 2. He's looking to come back here and follow it up with another performance. Using his teleport rune to check out this loot and just scout it out. See if he's got some items to eat or maybe a fight to pick. As you see some more AoE happening in front of him, but decides to just fully peel off of this one, OSK. Playing super safe this one.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why, because he does have 2 throwaway games that he can do. I would just be W King the heck out of this right now. Unfortunately, he's a little bit too far away for the lightning to really consistently hit. It does have that bloom on the longer distances. So he is just going to reposition, maybe check Arena of Elders. Maybe there's someone in the pit. Just kidding, there's not. And he is going to rotate around probably to Westmar to find any sort of fight he can. We see Darkbreakers here in the middle of Minecraft, just trying to go ahead and shield up, heal up to that full health. 4 exiles to his name right now, doing very well for himself. And we only have 12 people in the lobby. This is going by pretty quickly. Soft picking up another kill onto, looks like Zan. Can't read that, but he does get another kill.
Yeah, definitely something to mention right there is that we are at 12 people. That is just crazy as we go to Muffin, who is using those fancy new emotes. Look at him drop it off here. No kills to his name so far. Pretty slow event from Muffin. I expected a bit more out of him, but nonetheless, it is a high-pressure environment, so I don't blame him. We got Gummy as well, pushing through. No kills to his name either. And this is just going to be a very long push into a final fight, considering there's only 12 people left. Still a lot of map to cover. Kep's called legendaries all across his feet and neck. So he's dressed to impress here, looking to maybe make a play. 1 kill to his name, trying to expand on that. Definitely going to be bouncing around. Look at Soth, finds Kep in front of him. Definitely going to push this too. Soth has been playing so aggressive, as you guys all have been able to observe. Boulder off cooldown, doesn't quite throw it yet, waiting for a better angle. Dash will go cooldown once it touches ground. There it goes.
There it is.
Gets a nice burn right there. Hits back to back.
Nice.
Soft is just playing out of his mind for this game 3 and game 2 as well, if we're going to mention that. Gets in front of Kep now, keeps on following and hits him with another air shot. Beautiful play. This will be the end of the story, I believe, for Kep. There's another player hitting him with lightning, and Soft is just bloodthirsty as he follows this one through. Hits another air shot. This man has been switching targets front to back, left to right. Who wants this work? As Soft tries to finish off the first kill, doesn't quite land it though. Dash going to be off cooldown, now gets the Firefly through, jumps in front. But he loses focus, OSK. This is so tough. Gets the boom off the conflagration. But it's not quite enough. This is just tragic.
Can you just say boom one more time? Boom! There he goes. Kep is down. Poor Kep. He just gets focused throughout that entire run. Soth finds himself in a pretty favorable situation. Does get the heal off with the recovery boost, going to be nice for him. Now his opponent isn't exactly full health himself, but he is getting the full accuracy on that fireball. Needs to sort of rotate out. Guy has a good high ground, but his opponent has some good eyes on him too, and some good movement. He is going to be able to just back off, but the burst coming in. Darkbreaker's
in a corner, bullies him into the side. Soth has 7 kills with 7 people remaining, including himself. That was fantastic from Soth. He's just blowing these players up with Pyro, no focus mana. Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. That damage is all organic. As you see, Soth keeps on fighting around this castle. He has decided that this is his spot. You are not going to take the castle from him. And as I say that, somebody comes in and takes the castle from him. So that's my bad. As Soft looks to keep on rotating through the top, has recovery triple stack, so it's going to give him a lot of sustain, and he's looking beautiful in this game 3.
Yeah, quite handsome. I do love that skin myself. The beautiful Jasmine skin / Pocahontas. I don't know what name y'all decided, but I like Jasmine more. So we're going to hop over to T-Foul with 4 exiles, a little bit lower than what we're used to seeing, but he does see somebody in distance. Yes, there we go. Looks like the Mana Vault's going to teleport in there right on him. Going to use it as bait, as he's just going to go ahead, get the high ground, and here comes the lightning damage. Boop, boop, boop. Nope, we have the fireball, never mind, and now we have the lightning damage. There he goes. He is melted. He is
just deleted this man. He just put 3 fireballs into his chest and followed it up with the lightning, pops the Vital Stone, and cool guys don't look at explosions. He runs away from the Vital Stone. He's patient, but Diego comes in and takes it. Says, okay, sir, maybe a bit too confident, T-Foul. As now T-Foul is in trouble. Diego's pushing forward, misses the Frostborn snipe through the corner, but T-Foul is unafraid. Goes again for the high ground, looking to face this one straight up. Diego did get a beautiful flick to break T-Foul's armor, and look at the movement on Diego as well. This is a beautiful fight to watch. T-Foul using that alacrity to push himself forward just a little bit, watching the opponent come in, does have dash to use. You see how he uses that tree to maybe break a bit of line of sight? This is such an experienced player, dealing out the big damage over the top. Definitely going to look for a reset now. 5 people remaining, OSK. This might be the craziest end game we've had so far in Qualifier 1.
Yeah, both players just going to handshake, say, hey, let us both get a little bit of shield so we can make this fight even longer. We're just seeing the dance of Spellbreak right now. It really does look like a dance when played well. And now we see Diego putting down the flash freeze, going to try try to cancel out any sort of fireball, but T-Fowl's right on him. And oh my goodness, the latter part of that fight was all T-Fowl. And that's not a scavenger recovery, by the way. He had shields left over. So very nice capitalization on T-Fowl on the Frostborn there. And he is going to go ahead and heal all the way back up. Unfortunately, Muffin is just going to find himself in the hot seat, and he's down.
We bounce over to Muffin as he gets stuffed up by Gummy God. There is 3 people remaining in this game as Gummy God gets jumped on himself and now has to try to turn this. Teleports in, but T-Fowl's going to be on the other side. This is such an unfortunate spot for our hero, Gummy God. I want to see this one come down to the wire. I want to see T-Fowl drop another bomb as Gummy God is the victim. Getting pushed on right now. 2 firewalls, one from himself, one from the opponent. Looking to trade now, but that lightning is doing him no favors. Getting zapped up right now, has no sort of LOS to break, and T-Fowl finishes the kill. This is going to be a 1v1, ladies and gentlemen. Let me try to regain my breath as T-Fowl looks to push this one. He does have the health advantage and the armor advantage. This is such a good spot for him to be in as he follows it up with a huge air shot. Doesn't quite get the follow-up shot, but just Soft gets boxed in. That's the power of AoE control right there. Conduit and Pyro are both classes that give you huge opportunities to control the map, and T-Fowl just worked that lobby, man.
Yeah, I just want to say nice, respectful bow at the end. You know you got that one fine. All right, we have 2 first placements from you. Yeah, pay some respects. You're good. But I want to point out that he did end up with 7 exiles, but Soth also ended up with quite a number. The scores aren't quite updated quite yet, but he did have 7 at one point. I'd imagine he had maybe 8 at the end there, but we'll find out here pretty shortly. My 3rd pick is coming out. He might even take 2nd place at this rate because unfortunately one of the players we were expecting to do really well, Darkbreakers, isn't really showing up as much as I thought he would. So we're about to see some shifts in the scores. Excellent job by Gummy, by the way. This is a new player coming out from release. I didn't exactly expect to see a lot of names up there in the final circles, but good job to him. He's making himself known right now.
Yeah, Gummy definitely coming out with some heat. As you mentioned, Soth was a great prediction on your part. At the start of the broadcast, I was talking about how I wanted to hear your list so I could humiliate you after with my superior list, and you've dumpstered me so far with your predictions. Getting through to it, I think we might have a replay in the pocket to show you guys the end of that last game. I hope I'm correct about that one. We're going to throw it up when we can. OSK will give you his pro breakdown of what you saw.
Okay, here's my pro breakdown. Gummy is going to go ahead and get melted by T-Fowl, and then whoever's left is also going to get melted by T-Fowl, and there's nothing much else to say. I mean, just look at this. He has some good positioning. He does opt for the high ground. That's the main important part of landing those fire shots. You can see the more even ground, it's a little bit harder, and then the sorcery is just so well placed that he's literally just landing 3 bolts and then the lightning follow-up. There's just, if you're out of movement, there's not much you can do. You're just dead. Okay, that's it.
You know, it's hard as well to show you with that clip because it doesn't quite capture before that when T-Fowl was controlling high ground, dumpstering players back to back. All you guys saw was that end where he just concluded the game. He built up a health advantage and snowballed it. But what is missed in that is him standing on top of the cliff, fighting off Diego, fighting off Gummy, fighting off multiple players in a third-party situation. And that is some skill right there. I'm glad you guys could see it showcased. We have to give it to a halftime break right now, and I hope you guys had a nice little break. So just to remind everybody, the next 3 games are going to be played on EU. The first 3 were played on North America East. We will see how that affects the rest of these upcoming games, but I think it's going to be a doozy.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely looking to see what's going on in the EU side of things, if we see some different strategies. And just a quick reminder that all of this is completely community ran, community funded. So if you would like to donate to Element, you can just follow the links down below the stream, or I'm sure we have a command somewhere that Thunderson will put up in the chat, or another mod. Any and all is appreciated, and everything comes out of our own pockets. So any help is appreciated. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream as well, and we'll be getting into these 3 games here pretty shortly.
Yeah, as he mentions, all subs and donos go directly 100% towards more prize pools. None of it comes out of that. It all goes directly to making more of these events and making the stakes just a little bit higher. Reminder that this event has a $200 prize pool, not this qualifier. This is a qualifier leading into a money event, and that event has $200 on the line in total. So this qualifier, just to do another reminder, you play in these qualifying events, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The top 25 scores from those 5 events will be the ones playing in the final money round. So there is a lot of pressure to pop off in these games. I know Tfal has a sizable lead in first place, but taking second is still advantageous if you can have a hard score in second. It's all about what you end up with on your final score. And again, 2 games get removed. So it's your 4 highest scorecards that get counted. So if you've had a couple rough games to start, you still got a chance to pop off in the second half of the Element Phoenix Qualifier number 1.
Yeah, and I want to reemphasize this as well. This is very likely, if you're playing in this qualifier, the only qualifier you're playing in. And we have a lot. We're only taking the top 25 between all the qualifiers. So if you don't do well here in the qualifier, there's a good chance you're not going to be in the final. So we really need to see a sense of urgency come out from these players. I know a lot of NA people that need to step up now that they're on EU servers, and there are a lot of EU people who have been kind of put on the back foot, but now we're on your home turf. We need to see some action. We need to see some aggression. I want to see some high scores, because right now, Tfal might be taking the top spot and Soth might be taking 2, but there's still a lot of places that you need to improve your score on. So let's see some sense of urgency, and hopefully we'll see that going into Game 4 here shortly.
Yeah, and a cool point to make quickly before we drop in, as I'm hearing that we're just about to get into Game 4, a quick point to note is that in the past, before pre-release, it was usually easy for people to play multiple qualifiers, but now due to how many players are interested in these events and the release and how Spellbreak has been doing quite well, it's going to be hard to get more than 1 qualifying opportunity. So the pressure is on for these games. If you do not perform, you have almost 1 shot unless you can squeeze your way into another qualifier. But nonetheless, again, all details about qualifiers are in the Element Discord. Feel free to join, and we are getting into Game 4. My rant is over, ladies and gentlemen.
It was a nice rant to listen to, I'm not going to lie. And we have a beautiful rare belt on SCV 110, I'm going to pronounce that. And he's going to pick up a quick little scab scroll. I don't believe he's part of the tournament this one either, but we do have a nice fight coming out. Let's see if we can spot any familiar faces. This man is just has a common frost, nothing else on him. And he's going to have to play on the outside part of this fight, get out of the range of this pyro, because he is just going to get melted if not.
Yeah, Juicer, did you see that quick break of his line of sight due to a weird visual bug on the frost? But nonetheless, he gets slayed by the Lazy Sloth as we see the rest of this fight unfold. Lazy Sloth does have a belt with no armor value stuck to it. It got burned down in that first fight, but nice positioning from him as he squares up on the far side of this rock, using a little bit of shoulder cover, trying to get a shot to pop off. Maybe he's going to make the move to try to secure that mana vault. Nonetheless, he actually just barely gets out of the way of that sorcery, and now he's going to make his move. Nice air shot. He checks the damage too. He knows that his opponent is not exactly high HP. Uses a nice quick frost sorcery, but the range was not quite there. Hits 2 back-to-back fireballs. He's going to have to secure it with a clutch shot, and he lands it. Somebody in streamer mode just got eaten. Lazy Sloth picks up his 2nd kill to start off Game 4.
And what are you afraid of, streamer mode? Don't you want your name to be seen? Oh, I never understand streamer mode. But we're going to go ahead and hop onto Tfal here. Very nice skin on him there. It almost looks like a ninja. Like, it gives me Yasuo vibes from League of Legends in the back. You know, his hair is like all fluffed up in the back and it's all spiky. That's what Tfal reminds me of right now. But we're going to hop on over to Darkbreaker's nice range on the teleport there. He's opting to run Wolf's Blood in the off slot. So not really sure if he's looking for a different rune maybe, or if he really just wants those wall hacks. I'm not quite sure, but he's going to stumble onto a fight right here. He has some very nice range pocketed as well, and he's going to find the stone there. I knew he would pick that up. Beautiful find. That's a lot of damage and a lot of lightning coming out. I'm expecting some fireworks here on the Feather Fallers, but he doesn't connect with anything. Oh my goodness, that was a prime opportunity and he missed it.
He might be able to secure this kill though. You did see the Battlestone get popped. Look at the reposition with the teleport. Moves his way up to the top. Has to secure with lightning, and the wind is coming from a different direction. Who's going to finish this kill for the scorecard? Goes down to Darkbreaker's nice finish, and now he has to worry about the next kill. Could get a huge break here, but nonetheless it gets stolen from his very eyes. Slice Wole apparently takes that kill with a far distance DF. Jumps around on the side now, getting a teleport out of the way. Darkbreakers does get pushed out. The fight continues in front of him, and he does get an opportunity to reset. Frozen NQ finishes a kill in front of him as Zaru also gets a kill in the kill feed. Unrelated to what we're watching, that one is a drop from him. And we see the rest of this game is going to unfold. Darkbreakers is looted up right now. This is exactly what you want to see. Something that's kind of interesting is he has a Wolf's Blood in the pocket. Super, super unusual type of build to whip out here as he sidesteps that Frost Snipe, ducks below the wall to get a little bit of cover and moves his way up. Nice sorcery, burns it down, tries to get a little bit more lightning damage, but not enough.
Nice reposition.
Takes another angle with the stone. Teleport stone, it is so crucial that you get good angles into fights like that. Doesn't quite get any damage off of it. It just barely misses it to stop the potion. Now he's getting jumped on from another player who has the pyro. Has to be careful.
There's
Look at the damage though. That's the legendary stone lightning combination. The DPS is insane as he gets another angle and he's going to teleport. He's eating a lot of fire, though, to try to finish this kill. This is a desperation move from Darkbreakers as he tries to poke over the top of the side now. Kills are happening in the kill feed as we watch this. T-Foul is one nameable to get a drop. And we see this one continue to scale out. Drasticon also getting a kill with Stone. This is a very, very extended fight.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the truth of the matter here. Darkbreakers is his own worst enemy in this fight. There were so many shots he could have hit if his mechanics were just a little bit more on point. I mean, he did miss 2 easy stone slams he could have done. There's a lot of lightning he's missing. He has the opportunity. He just needs to be able to capitalize on them. And maybe it takes a little bit more time in the practice mode. Maybe it takes a little bit more on the Kovacs aim trainer. I'm not sure what it's going to take, but these are a lot of shots that he needs to connect on if he wants to do well. I really want to see him do well. I know he can do it, and hopefully we'll see it right here. Come on, Darkbreakers. I'm not really... Oh, man. It's just an unfortunate situation.
Tragic teleport, OSK. That was just brutal. Repositions with the aggressive play. DPS checks and realizes his opponent is a lot healthier than he expected. Frozen gets a kill onto Kep. Nice drop from Frozen as we move over the camera angle to some new fights. Diego Contra is a notable one as we look at him potting in the side of the corner castle. Looks like he may have just escaped with his life out of a fight. Does have the Harmony Scav recovery. This is a very common build in solos. Competitive, it is a snowbally build that you have to really land your shots to push with. Diego is known as a deadly Frostborn player though, so I have confidence in his aim and ability to use this build. Frozen gets another kill onto Drasticon, so he's off to a hot start. So we see game 4 on EU.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to see Frozen here. Looks like just finished that fight with Kep and Drasticon. So that's 2 exiles out of the 4 that recently just came in. I want to kind of hop around and see if there's any more action. Hopefully we can find something hot. Never mind, we just found something hot right now, and there's a nice shot.
Lands it in the face. Frozen with the Tundra skin and rocking the Frost. That's some synergy with skin as he looks to move forward now. Sees the teleport come out, doesn't quite try to track it. Follows the front side, buries an air shot into the first target, finishing that kill for his 5th on the game. Frozen is having a pop-off similar to T-Fouls as we get him through this game. He's rocking that runic fluency build that's very common with the dash pyro. You have a lot of mobility at your disposal as you see him drop that shot. Looks for another target now, just DPS checking, looking at him, watching him, see him, and trying to eat. Takes a quick Firefly flight through the side, takes lightning damage though, but he should be able to finish this kill, OSK. This should be a clean follow-up.
I don't know, man. He's W-King into a bunch of damage, and that's 3/4 of his health pool already down. And those were completely avoidable, too. He could have just fired a Frost. He could have done literally anything else but lead with his face into lightning bolts. So very, very misplayed by him right there, but I'm sure he'll recover just fine. As long as he's able to get these potions off, he'll be fine if he can take the tower right there. We're going to go ahead and hop on over, though. We see Dragon Slayer playing Minecraft. And unfortunately, looks like he's finding himself on the outside part of this fight. It's a little bit too long range for him to do anything meaningful with. He does end up hitting the fire shot, and now we see the third party coming in. This is a prime opportunity. You stay back, you let their health pool get down, and then you take both. That's exactly what you want to do right here, and that's exactly what he is doing. Hopefully we'll see it play out well for him.
Yeah, and something to note, guys, for anybody who doesn't know, Frozen is actually new to the game off release. He's just popping off here, and it's so impressive to see a player compete with some who have been playing for almost a year or more. And Frozen is out here really making a name for himself. So that's just something to keep in mind as you watch this game unfold, and he picks up another kill. We're going to see Dragon Slayer take a Mana Vault in the center. Such a sketchy spot. You know that you're going to attract a lot of attention for a move like this. Dragon Slayer just doing some very questionable positioning decisions as he takes the side of a wall, does use his spring step nicely to avoid a little bit of damage, but again, I do not understand the movement here. Gonna have to just take his way out of the fight, decide to abandon the mana vault. Maybe that's the right decision as he finds yet another fight. Only 10 people left, but they seem to be everywhere across the front of this Halcyon engagement. Dragon Slayer now just taking damage. This is a tough situation. Lightning gonna come out. Spring Step ain't gonna save you from that Zap as he's just trying to fake some space. Does have HP pots to drink and recovery, so it will help him out just a little bit, but the tracking from his opponent is just too much. Getting followed through the bottom now, drops the DF of the zone, and a nice air shot from Darkbreakers. Keep in mind, that was a fireball to finish, so a beautiful finish with that kill, and now Darkbreakers is in trouble, OSK.
Yeah, but that's a very nice improvement between what we saw earlier, and keep in mind, Darkbreakers is a North American player playing on EU servers, so the ping isn't exactly helping him here, but he is doing quite well now. Now that he's finally found his rhythm, he finally is landing his shots, and you're right, that was a fire shot, harder to hit. Very, very nicely done by him. He sees the Frostborn right there, but it's going to line of sight him, going to just block him off from his head, and now he's able to just pot up and get right back in. Beautiful stuff from him. This is exactly what we were expecting.
Yeah, this is the type of things that make Conduit players happy to watch. Watching that reposition, a nice play with his dash, keeping himself alive with teleport as well, swapping in thanks to Spellslinger. Darkbreaker just putting on a clinic on how to make space with Conduit. 9 players left in this game, so yet again, we have a high action game. There is no waiting around. Players are fighting left and right, as there's no mid-game lulls to speak of. Diego contra TTV, I'm cheering for him in this game, OSK. This is who I want to win. Caster bias on the table. Let's see if he hits this shot. Oh, doesn't quite hit it on the flying target and misses the follow-up, but he's not going to get punished too hard for such misses. Nobody is around him. Does take a pot of his own. This is
right
such an opportune opportunity to push through and maybe hit a shot. But Diego instead just doing a little bit of matrix work to avoid that frost shot. Gonna take some DF. This is just so unfortunate as Diego tries to hit and turn a quick flick, but it won't go, OSK. Unlucky.
Yeah, very unlucky on his part there. These are some shots that we're used to seeing him hit. Hopefully when this next patch comes out, we'll have a little bit of better mechanics displayed, because there is that little bit of issue that we all know about that I'm not going to mention here. But anyway, he does find himself in the middle of the damage over time from the flame wall. He does go ahead and cleanse it off with the flash freeze. Nice shot off the frozen. That is very, very nicely done by him. Unfortunately, he doesn't have much of follow-up, and he is going to get eaten alive by all of this fire. Hopefully that speed will help him out, but the flame wall will say no. And here comes the Firefly into the combust. He is going to get taken out.
You are not getting away from Tfal once he smells blood in the water. I'm not sure how that frost shot missed. That could have been his game right there. Tfal playing very overconfident right there, but once again, that is just a demonstration of how strong Pyro can be against a Frostborn. Once you get caught on that back foot, it is so hard for you to turn the fight as the Frostborn player, especially against somebody with the mechanics of Tfal. 3 kills to his name as we try to finish off the rest of this game. Throws down the firewall, does not connect though, as he dashes through the side, gets a beautiful pyro conflagration explosion to put some damage down. Again, uses the cover to take a boulder, doesn't actually receive damage for it. Now he's going to push off the side. This is interesting, OSK. Tell me what he might be thinking with this perception going back into the storm.
I thought he was going to go for the scrolls. Maybe he's actually just looking for bigger armor potions. I'm not quite sure. Maybe he was looking to see what kind of rarity he could grab. He saw the color orange and trying to get a legendary gauntlet, but he's going right into this damage. But he's making it up so quickly. Look at all the damage coming out. That's a lot of burst. And now the third party comes in. I don't think it matters for Tfal though, because that combust is going to be carrying it. That's a direct shot. And now the ignite is going to just be ticking down. Beautiful stuff. Doesn't get anything out of it, but my goodness, he is displaying some dominance between these people, saying, don't third party me. I'm the only party that matters, and I'm having a party right now.
You know what he's displaying too is confidence right there. 2 people pushing on him at once, and Tfal says, you better sit down, because he's pushing through. Now we're looking at Zauru with a similar skin as he jumps to take a shot, doesn't quite hit it onto what looks like a Tempest player. Takes a spring step over the top, has runic fluency with really well-read scrolls. So Zauru is going to have a lot at his disposal as we see this game close out. 5 people left in the game, and I'm secretly cheering for Frozen. He has had a pop-off performance in Game 4, and he's looking to follow it up with some more frost shots from deep. Looking to hit one off the top now, sees the dash. That would have been a beauty, but doesn't quite connect now. Still popping in where he can. Zauru goes down to Tfal. Looks like Frozen is spotted. You see a cloud come out in his direction. He can't quite hit anything. They're just so close, but not enough, as he looks to keep on this pressure. Nothing really going for him though right now, OSK. He takes a huge stone slam to the face, now trading. Look at the beautiful fireball, 3 back-to-back. Look at him pull the kill. The fireball, but he didn't get credited to Frozen. That is so unfortunate. T-Foul secures it because he blew up the cloud, but nonetheless, Frozen's just demonstrating some beautiful mechanics. Not gonna do it though. I think he's in a lot of trouble here, OSK.
He definitely is, but this is very nice movement to kind of stall out. T-Foul is the favorite to win this fight right here. He only needs to land 2 fireballs to do it against Frozen. There's 1. Here comes 2 pretty quickly. But Frozen is doing exactly what he was trying to do earlier, and he actually is avoiding the fight and trying to let everyone else kind of take the damage for him. He misses by 1 shot. Unfortunate for him. That was one more
this
shot.
Is coming down to the wire. He takes a dash and he goes through, but he runs through the enemy's firewall. What a nice firewall placement from his opponent. T-Foul is just 1 shot from death, and we don't know how low his opponent is. He's 1 shot too. This is trading down back to back. Who gets the air shot? T-Foul just missing off the top. Spring step comes through. Recovery. 1 more take of damage, and it's gonna go. T-Foul buries game 4, and that is 3 straight wins for T-Foul.
It is indeed 3 straight wins for T-Foul. He ends up with 7 exiles, I believe, 7 or 8. I didn't quite catch the final number. I'd love to see that again. Let's see how he masters his movement right here and lands those direct fireballs. And there was something very interesting that happened right here. Okay, so he ends up with 7. We do have that on record. So unfortunately, he misses the AoE. Notice how he's playing around this as if it's smoke from something like CSGO. He is going to go ahead and land the last direct fireball he needs. And look at the tick from Ignite. That is what finishes off right there. Wow. Recovery, very strong, but not strong enough to prevent you from getting lit on fire. So nice direct shot from him.
And something else you can notice from that replay right there is the reaction time of T-Foul. It's super minor. It wouldn't have costed him his life, but he dashed out of the way of a conflag explosion. And so he used his dash defensively, but because he had already burned the charge and he saw his window of opportunity, he ended up just turning into the fight. He used it reactionary, but he still pushed with aggressive nature. T-Foul is just going crazy in this qualifier number 1. Again, 3rd win in a row. And my friends, he is playing on EU based in North America. T-Foul is just going stupid right now.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job of adapting as well. He knows on the higher ping that Conduit isn't going to be as easy for him as it would be on an ideal ping. So he opts for the Pyromancer, which has tools to allow you to at least be close to your target and still get some damage off. And that is the skill Combust that's coming in. Very high damage scores for him. Again, you can check those exclamation scores, exclamation scoreboard, whichever one it is, because I still don't know. But I want to point out the real star of that show, I believe, and that was Frozen. I don't know if you noticed it in the middle of that game, but before he got exiled, he also had 7 exiles. And that is very, very impressive. He's matching T-Foul in terms of exile number. Unfortunately, didn't beat him in the placement, but his damage has to be high from that. I don't quite have the final score tally for that, but that's very impressive for him. Being a brand new player, I haven't seen him before. He is doing very, very well into some of these veterans.
Yeah, and other players as well that we didn't expect to pop off. I mean, you did give credit to Soft before the event started. You saw that coming. I did not. He's having a great run right now. As you mentioned, Frozen popping off too. T-Foul is the star of the show as usual. Team UT always playing for the wins here. But again, for anybody who's new or maybe just joined us in here, first place for this qualifying event is not a be-all, end-all solution. Your goal is to get a high enough qualifying score that you match up against everybody else in the other 5 qualifiers. Second place, first place, it feels nice. It's nice to brag, right? But in terms of your actual placement towards getting the money, it's still a possibility to hit second in this qualifier and qualify for the final money event. The games are not over, is what I'm trying to say. The competition is still high. Every game still matters down to the last damage tick. And I mean that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, at this point, we're in our final 2 games. I would go completely aggressive if I were everybody. You're going to be dropping 2 games anyway. If you're in the lower part of that score bracket, you need to be able to make a statement so 2 of your low scoring games can get out of there. Because what do you have to lose? The only thing you have to lose is, I mean, obviously if you do badly, then you're not going to be in anyway. And if you continue the way that you are, you're not going to be in. So just go for it. I'm willing to see some aggressive strategies coming out. Lots of burst, lots of damage over time. And I want to see if anything's going to be adjusted between these players' builds because they need to make a statement.
Something that really surprised me with builds, speaking on that for solos, was Focused Mana Pyro. I was told and I was expecting to see a ton of Focused Mana Pyro. I know it's an insanely strong class, but shockingly enough, it's not come out anywhere so far from what I can see. Everybody's still sticking to Runic Fluency, understandably so. That talent is so strong, giving you an extra charge of dash or whatever you choose, on top of the cooldown reduction as well. So it does make sense. I'm a little disappointed though. I was excited to see Focused Mana Scav, some sort of cheesy, crazy stuff come out, but the players are sticking with what they know, and I gotta respect that.
Yeah, that's why it's called cheese. It's good. It's good, at least for me. Okay, I'm not a big fan of cheese. It's good once in a while, but you want to stick to your big meaty steak that you know is going to be reliable every single time, and that is going to be the Runic Fluency. And we're seeing a lot of scav, a little bit surprising, but you also see a lot of fervor, which is more of what I was expecting. And if you're not running recovery, are you even playing spell break? Like, we're seeing a lot of that as well.
Yes. So again, the 25 top players from all 5 events will be the ones who qualify for the money. The stakes are still high. You can check where your favorite players are. You can cheer them on in the chat. Maybe we can get some predictions from the chat about who they think is going to win Game 5. I know it's pretty easy to predict UT Tfal will take the whole event, but for Game 5, I want to hear some big predictions from you guys. And I hear we're about to get into Game 5 as well. 2 more games remaining until we wrap up qualifier number 1. Again, feel free to join Element Discord if you want to join in for some of these future events and get started with Element.
Yeah, definitely. Would love to have y'all in. We always have scrims, so go ahead and join right in. It's a very welcoming community. We even have those new player scrims where you can hop in with a vet, get a little bit of coaching done. And just overall improve at the game. And maybe we'll see y'all out here in some of the competitive events. We're going to drop on to Diego Contra, still rocking the Frostborn. Nothing changed in his eyes. He is still going to be trying to land all of those shots. And we see Soth pop off very, very quickly onto a nice Exile. Well, against Exile.
And then he drops him off there. So that's the start of the game. This one's starting a little bit slower, less kills to get us cracking. Drasticon, somebody we've watched through the games, hasn't had any crazy pop-offs so far. Pingu is the one player, as we keep bouncing around, he's the only person who's won a game other than Tfal. So he can really take that one home, have some pride on that one, that he's the one defending us against the mighty Tfal as we see the rest of this game come through. Gummy God as well. Now we see a huge air shot from Dragon Slayer to finish off 1 kill. He might get pushed by another player. This is the Focused Mana Pyro that I was referencing in the pregame. Hits a nice 28 damage with the huge air shot. Tries to follow it up with 1 more, but doesn't quite connect it. Invis is going to come off cooldown now, so he might look for the DF to finish if he can get up in front. Doesn't quite look for it. That would have been a very ideal chance, but he's being patient, maybe too patient. Waited for the Featherfall to come out, and now he may have missed his opportunity to push this fight. He doesn't have Firefly yet. Uses a DF improperly, and now he's going to be in a deadly position. Dragon Slayer now uses his invis, goes for another air shot. This is so tragic. It's so close, but it won't happen to finish. And now he's going to just try to push this kill. Remember that if he does kick this one down, he has Scav to bump him up. And that was a long, protracted fight that should have ended a lot sooner.
Yeah, that one mistake in remembering what sort of skill that you have and how quickly that you have it in terms of Firefly, I'm really glad to see that it didn't cost him the entire fight, but it very well could have. His opponent had Frostborn. He had some free shots at him. All he needs to do is just connect 1 or 2, and he would have been down. And those are the sorts of micro mistakes that you absolutely cannot afford to make, especially when the lobby is as stacked as it is. So, thankfully, he doesn't pay for it with his whole game, but that was very, very scary.
Yeah, definitely a scary moment for sure as we move on to another player, Cube Sparks, throwing down that conduit work, misses the front side of those lightning bolts, but gets on a new position now. Dash is going to be off cooldown, so he's definitely going to look to push, sees the opponent take an invis and alacrity. What a funny combination. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get him away from Cube Sparks, though, as he looks to get over into a high ground, and we're going to look for a better fight.
Yeah, this is not a fight, though. That's all right. We have Kep on the wings here. He is still rocking the Tempest. I wonder if he's going to bring out the memes in the last game. He's running a very, very serious, very, very, very try-hard build, but he's been having some rumors about Wolf's Blood, Escapist, and Tempest, and just building up all of his speed. So I don't know if he would bring out the memes, but he's only person I can think of that would in this sort of environment. And we see Darkbreaker's getting into a fight of his own here. He is still running the conduit, very, very confident in his mechanics, even when he's off his home server. So we'll see how that pays off for him as he tries to circle around. He is maintaining the high ground very well, but his opponent has a nice hiding spot, and he is not going to be found.
Yeah, Darkbreaker doesn't do a great enough job of tracking that follow through, loses his opponent, and is now just going to be dancing around the side here, drinking his pots, trying to get it back up. Once again, Darkbreaker keeps Wolf's Blood in his pocket. Very interesting. Have not seen so much of this come out. He's been really the only person we've seen with Wolf's Blood considered. So I want to see how he uses that for his build. I feel like I haven't seen any of that even pulled out when he has it in his pocket. Maybe it might be a waste of potion slots, but Darkbreaker's trying to prove me wrong here. Back to the star of the last game, the second star, I should say, behind T-Fel. We got Frozen NNQ. So he's rolling through with the same build as last time. T-Fel apparently did not make it into this lobby. It is okay, though, because your top 4 games get pulled through the scores. T-Fel is very confident in letting one of these games drop. I know him, and I know he's looking to just show out in Game 6 as well.
Yeah, honestly, he might have missed this lobby, but I mean, does he even need to make another one? He already has his 4 scores, and the average between all of those, I mean, it's going to be insanely high. He has a lot of exiles, good placement, lots and lots and lots of damage. Easily the highest out of all 4 games, out of each of all 4 games, actually. So very, very good news for him. I'm sure he'll be fine. But Banana Blade is going to be taking the high ground, and now we see Pingu still trying to win this lobby. Now that T-Fel's out of the lobby, he is statistically the favorite to take the win, and he gets Gummy God very, very easily. And now we see the Frostborn trying to third party. He failed at his attempt, and we'll see if he can succeed against a 1v1 in Pingu, but it's not going well for him, and he is going to be punished very, very heavily.
Nice timing by Pingu, waiting for him to hit the ground, just not quite on the mark of the angle, not landing the damage there. Only got the first one to go, but there's a follow-up. The damage will tick due to the Firewall Chariot of Fire run through. Pingu now on a bit of a back foot position, does have Spring Step off cooldown, so he can make an aggressive move. You see it there, whoa, Boulder way over the top, as he just barely overcompensates for that one. Shoots over again, tries to hit an air shot. This is just a really weird fight. Both players with Spring Step dancing around on each other. Pingu waiting for one more chance to get him on the ground, but he's just not quite timing it. There it is, and one more will do it if he can stick it. Sees his opponent take the Firefly, tries to weave a boulder into the corner, but it doesn't go. Pingu definitely concerned with just getting this one down. Wow, that was unfortunate that he got caught on the side of the wall, and he misses his chance to get the top of the break. Just barely getting it with the Stone Shaper now. I think he should be able to finish this one at OSK, but the worry is, will he get third party? This is taking way too long.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, Pingu is doing a very good job, okay? He's predicting where his opponent's going to be. It's unfortunate for him that his opponent just has so many rune slots. And he does end up taking out Lazy Sloth at the end there. Very nicely done. But I just want to point out that was not really a misplay on Pingu's part, except for maybe that high-flying boulder. He was predicting where his opponent was going to be given the movement that he had. It's just his opponent was doing a very good job of reacting to all the sources of damage that were flying at him. So good job between both parties. He was not autopiloting. He was doing a very good job of keeping on that even level that you need to as a Stone Shaper. It's just unfortunate that it took that long, and that's just the price you pay for being in competitive lobby.
Yeah, Guns, you saw right here with this fight, he was being very patient as he walks into this one. Ooh, a bit of a miscalculation. He does have a Harmony, so he could have just ran right through that Frozen and slammed that dude to the ground. But nonetheless, the CC reduction was not a consideration for him as he looks for this other fight. This is a Frostborn who's getting exposed in front of Guns Games. Just barely misses the boulder, which would have done him a world of good. Remember, he has Flight Rune, so he should be able to catch up to this player if he's long enough. Throws it down again, trying to break up the ice trail. But the player is gonzo. And now Guns is on his own. Sees him actually pop back up, so he comes back into the fray. Guns is gifted a kill in that regard as he throws on the firewall, and that should be the end of their game.
Still going.
We're
still in this fight.
This is really a nightmare situation in competitive lobbies, though, I gotta say. When you're 1 HP from finishing a kill, you keep chasing that. Next thing you know, Kep is in your face, smacking you down on a third party. So you have to be careful. Frozen goes down. You can see that in the kill feed. That is unfortunate. He had a crazy game last game. Always fun to see new players like that take on these lobbies. Unfortunately enough, he goes down. We see a boulder come out from Guns Games, but it doesn't connect onto anybody. He did pop the Mana Vault, so there's going to be a lot of people pushing into this area. Guns is prepared to fight it to the death to defend his little mini castle.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're playing Poke the Gun right now because we have 2 people converging on his location. We have a Frostborn landing a shot right here. I wouldn't be surprised that's not Diego, different skin, but it is a very nice shot nonetheless. 2 shots on him, actually. And now he finds himself in a very, very unfavorable situation. He is not really playing optimally as a Stone Shaper. We saw that earlier in his earlier fight, didn't quite get the finish there. And now he's going to be running into another third party, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And we're going to find a different angle for you guys. Let's see what kind of fight we can find. Muffin is just floating. We don't care about him. But we're going to find another angle as well. We have Dragon Slayer converging on the location. No action his way. There we go. Here's Jettervox. Jettervox. I'm calling it Jettervox. That's who we have. But he's going to try to fly up. Unfortunately, gets sucked in by the tornado. Zapped for his troubles. And here comes the wind spam. Got to be very careful. This is Kep on the Tempest, I'm pretty sure. And he is just going to get winded down.
Yeah, Jet is getting worked on the top of that. You see the advantage of high ground positioning. It is so much harder to hit a fireball on a target that's floating up in front of you compared to shooting down onto somebody. And Jet is feeling the results of that mismatch. He took a lot of damage there for very little return. Recovery will thankfully help him out quite a bit. And now we're on to Horrify. Bouncing his way up. He is rocking Tempest Lightning. This is a tough build to pull off. I know that both of these gauntlets accomplish similar sort of distances with their ranges, and Horrify is now going to try to capitalize, pushes his way into the front, does have Fervor quite high stacked, so his attack speed is extremely high as he keeps on working his wind jump. Squall is getting stacked up just a little bit as he takes yet another spring step to keep repositioning here. This is a very, very tough fight for Horrify to push into.
Man, this is the stuff of nightmares. I haven't seen somebody without hands in quite a long time, but they're just floating by his side there. I need to know what kind of sorcery this is because, my goodness, it is very, very frightening. You can see the glowing place where his wrists once were, and now he's just going to be flying in. Unfortunately, against the low ground against the Stone Shaper is not a very favorable situation, and also his build is not very favorable either. Running the Tempest Lightning, I'm actually surprised I'm seeing this in tournament, but he is going to go ahead and find a spot to heal up. He is doing okay. I'm not sure if he's going to get very much out of the Squall buff that we normally see from Tempest. He's going to stay on the outside part of the fight, maybe not engage. We can get a different angle on this sort of engagement.
Yeah, look at him pop some shots in from the side there. That's classic Lightning build. We see Mancy with the same skin. Beautiful skin, by the way, I must say. The Tundra skin with the white hair. It looks great as Mancy looks to show me what else looks good as he jumps right in the face, throwing down the wind. That should be the kill secure, but he doesn't quite time his mana right. That is just so brutal. That small mechanical mistake might cost him the kill if it gets stolen from him. And it does! Right out of his hands! Mancy watches Guns take that from his crying eyes as now he has to push off the side. No Harmony is going to cause him to be CC locked up a little bit and just down to 60 HP. Thirsty to maybe help him if he can reset, but this is not a great position to be.
Yeah, definitely. Thankfully, he didn't miss out on much. He isn't running Scavenger, so it's not like he missed any healing he could have potentially had. He's opting for the Fervor instead, and his Thirsty talent is going to come in pretty handy, so he'll be fine. But Kep is going to find the higher ground here. He is rocking the Tempest Fire offhand, and he does have the extra rune charge. He is running the classic 2-2-2 build that we always love to talk about. So he's looking pretty good in terms of builds. We just need to see how the mechanics are coming out. It looks like he is having some trouble landing his shots, so maybe we can see a little bit of improvement right here. There's a free shot. Nice. And now we're going to see him land just 2 more, I believe. If he can, he seals out the kill. If not, then he's just going to be floating for a long time.
A lot of spring steps in this game. I feel like I've seen 4 or 5 players in this last 20 circle using spring step, which is kind of a rarity to imagine, but Kep still's got his Tempest with that spring step that we mentioned. Squall is getting stacked up just a little bit as you see that effect around him. Jumps up to the far, far high ground, but doesn't have much of a range gauntlet to work with and abuse. Now he's going to jump right in this guy's face, and he hits a 44. This should be the kill. Nice work from Kep. Those back-to-back fireballs take down Banana Blade. Now he's on to the next fight, but he's at a heavy health disadvantage. His opponent is fully armored up as Kep misses the air shot and takes one to the face. That pyro is going to cause a lot of pressure as that ignite keeps ticking. Kep moves backwards now, trying to make a bit of a move, but his spring step off cooldown, uses it with the S key to break a bit of backward space. Now taking Tempest jumps, dodges the nice frost shot from his opponent, and he's going to say, forget about it. I'm out of this fight. I don't want anything to do with you, sir, as he gets out and looks for a reset possibly. 6 people left in this game, including Kep, and as I say that, Mancy goes down to make it 5.
All right, let's see if we can get a different angle on this fight, because Kep looks like he wants to stay on the outside part of it. We do have Gun Games, who apparently is playing Luigi's Mansion, because that is some spooky stuff that just happened with the walls there. We have Muffin. Also, he's rocking the Stone Shaper, so he's in a very good spot. If he gets on that higher bit of ground, he can definitely make his stone travel down that little bit of hill. And he is going to get into a fight with Guns Gaming here, who is also rocking the Stone Shaper. And I can't believe he dodged that move, but he is actually doing really well in terms of positioning. He has to drop on this man. I would have liked to see a shockwave instead of the 2 missed boulders, but he is still making it work for him. That man is one shot. He's going to teleport out of the way, maybe get a quick heal off, and he will. Very nicely done. Good positioning by Muffin.
Yeah, Muffin definitely gets a nice exile too onto Kep. That's just advantages of being in the right position at the right time. And now we have a 1v1 situation. Muffin's teleports directly in, but doesn't land the follow-up. This is such an awkward fight. We don't know how healthy his opponent is. He's flying up in the sky, as you can see. Muffin going to try to land something, but he does not have a Frost or a Lightning to counter this aerial playstyle. Does throw the double boulder and connects both.
Nice.
Look at the damage. Muffin's just trying to end this game 5 as he looks to follow it up with one more shot. Doesn't quite get it before the flight rune comes off cooldown. Does take his pots though. Has to be careful. Boulders will catch you from this angle, Muff, as he jumps through with the teleport too. And now he's sliding through. It's only going to be 2 more shots to finish the kill. Double boulders off cooldown for Muffin, so you know the AoE is there for him as well. He has a little bit of a window of opportunity before the flight rune comes back up. But oh my god, he gets popped! Oh, I did not expect Guns Games to turn that fight on him. Flipped him like a nickel, put him down on his butt, and that is game 5.
Yeah, I did a very good job of reading that teleport. The zone was getting shorter and shorter, so you knew that Muffin had to work his way from the outside back to the inside. He was running the very, very tried and true meteorite build, as I'll call it, the flight into the double boulder. It works well in solo queue, and apparently it works well here too. I'd love to see another look at that so you can see the prediction off of the teleport there. Certainly love to see a little bit of repeat, but let's see what he does. So you see him taking cover from the boulder here, which is very, very good. But the zone is actually closing very, very fast. And you can see that in these next few shots. There we go. So you notice that he's on the outside. He actually gets caught out towards the edge here on the back of this rock. Knows he's about to take a tick, and Games predicts it. Gets the nice stone slam. Very, very nicely done.
Yeah, that's going to wrap up game 5 right there. Losing the game, I actually was so certain that Muffin was going to take that game. I did not expect the boulder into slam combo. He kind of got worked at the end there. And we're going to get into game 6 as soon as possible. Remember that this will be the final game of the first qualifier. Thank you again, everybody, for coming through and enjoying the show. I hope you guys can leave any feedback you have and join the Element Discord for further participation. We're going to try to get this last game on the road. I want to hear one last prediction, OSK. I know I've put you on the spot about 50 times today, but I want to hear it one more time.
So going off of the past few games, I definitely think that if Tfal makes it into this lobby this time, he is going to go ahead and carry the lobby. I think we can go ahead and say that's a foregone conclusion. Now, in terms of who follows him, I want to see more from Frozen. He did pop off in game number 4. He ended up getting 7 exiles with a 3rd placement. I think there's a lot more that we can hear from him. And he didn't quite do as well in game 5 that I would have liked. There was a pretty good opportunity for him now that the one person dominating all the lobbies is out. But he's going to be back in this time. I want Frozen to really show up, and I really want Darkbreakers to really focus in on those mechanics. He only got away with 2 exiles this time, and I know we can do so much more. We've seen it in the past. So I definitely don't want him to put him towards the middle of my list anymore. I want to see him shine, and I know it's caster bias, but I've seen it before, and I want to see him do his best. That's all I want to say about that.
If we are trying to avoid caster bias, then we have been doing a horrible job, because all day I've been hyping up Tfal and all sorts of these other players, but that's not the point. We're trying to bring you guys the show. Game 6 will be coming shortly as we just discuss what we've seen so far. Apparently the drop-in is happening as we speak, OSK, so let's get ready to wrap this event up with the final game. And we will just quickly at the end, just to remind everybody, we're going to show you guys the scoreboard. We'll go over it very quickly, and then we will send it off to another community member with the raid. But for now, let's focus on what's in front of us, Game 6.
Yeah, and I want to point out right before we get in, I forgot to mention Jettervooks, who we were spectating earlier, actually finished off with 6 exiles and was the only one to break 1,000 damage with 1,381. So very nicely done to him. If he can repeat that, he's going to be in a good spot. So we'll be on the lookout for him as well.
Certainly, as we see Mirthweight, I like that name, jumps to the front side, gets a couple AoE fireball explosions, finds a legendary. That's going to be game-changing in these early fights as he looks around the side. Guns Game does get a kill of his own with the stone in the kill feed. Kep as well picking up the fire, and your man Frozen getting a kill to his name too. Now just look at the damage. He gets turned on right now as Mirthweight is going to get pushed. He's down to just 4 HP, no recovery. The Vital Stone will let him go golden just for one glorious second, but it's not going to be enough, and we see it come out. This is one of the worst talents in the game, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people can prove me wrong, but Vital Stone just doesn't seem worth it as Seb Lord finishes him off, and we see more fights, more action unfolding. We're going to get over to Nugget as he pushes forward, throws down a tornado, and slams the ground. Drasticon as well, looking to just secure his loot. Typical build as we see a fight unfold. No belt on his opponent, so Drasticon knows he has a window of opportunity. Drops a couple shots, but misses those front side. Gets a nice air shot, but it was right in front of him. Oh! Nice. That is actually as easy as it looks. That's some really good reaction time by Drasticon to recognize that his cloud is off cooldown. He can use it while his opponent doesn't have their rune up. Nice kill. It's going to secure quickly. Drasticon already has 3 stacks in Fervor. That is pretty crazy when you think about how early we are into Game 6.
Yeah, and I'd like to actually go back and take another look at that if it's possible. Never mind, we're going to be going into another fight. It just happened so quickly. And we're seeing the third party come in, but he looks like he's also going to get schooled as Drasticon just lands. Oh! We can look at that one too. Let's run it back. I want to break this one down so badly. That was so smooth. And we're going to see in the top left of your screen, this is our in-game replay, new feature for all the Element peeps in the chat here. You see, look at these direct shots. This is a textbook example of all of the mechanics that Drasticon brings to the table. He knows that he's low, sees the fire puddle. It doesn't even matter that he fired that last shot. The AoE of the Dragonfire is going to take that last little bit of HP, 1, maybe 2 ticks of 20 damage for free.
Yeah, nice job whipping out the replay feature right there, OSK. I love to see the flex, as we see Banana Blade as well, flexing that key on his back with the artifact. Store has been doing well lately. We've seen a lot of players in here running that new Tundra skin with the white hair. Looks great as Frozen gets a kill of his own with the Frost in the kill feed. Now we're looking at Asmule, who's looted quite nicely. Most of the players we've seen so far have their loot secured, and it looks like we're going to see some big fights. This has probably been the slowest game we've had, and I know that's surprising because there's still been a lot of kills, but this has been the most people this far into the game at 23.
Yeah, definitely, but I want to get a quick look at T-Foul right here because I just saw in the kill feed, he killed somebody with a wind spam. And I really want to see what his build is right after we get done with this little bit of action. Never mind. We have Horrify on the outside part of there. Looks like he is spotting an opponent working the stone skin here. There is someone right above. He's going to third party him. Going to go ahead and engage. And I'm interested to see what kind of build this man is running because he did end up flying right in. I didn't quite see what sorts of damage he has, but this is going to be a very, very long and drawn-out engagement, I can see. The third party is hanging back. He wants to see the result of this fight. Hopefully Horrify can get out without too much damage to him. The stun's going to come in. Some free damage, maybe not. Okay, never mind. Doesn't quite capitalize on it. He knows he's in the flat ground. Needs to find himself to something with more varied ground so he can avoid the damage from the stone, for sure.
Something to keep note of, though, is the great job that Horrify is doing of staying off the ground. He's also timing his CC so that when he needs to recharge his mana, he can CC his opponent. He knows he has 2 seconds of freedom, but still, this is so hard because the Stone Shaper is getting constant armor regen as Horrify tries to poke him down.
Oh,
and
there's the
look
frost.
at that. How does that connect? Oh, it was a frost from deep. My apologies. I thought the stone tracked them as Horrify is now getting faced from 2 angles. Look at him get pushed backwards. The storm is also closing, so he's going to have to run, Forest, run. Horrify does not want this fight at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you're seeing why I don't really like the Tempest Lightning build either. The Lightning saps up so much mana from you, and that's mana you could be using to stay off the ground. You saw him have to recharge his mana right there. And if he's unlucky, someone hits him with a nice Frost or a nice Fireball, and it's that easy. What he needs to do is maybe grab a better Fire or a Toxic, get some burst damage on that doesn't cost as much to land as much damage, and he just needs to be able to land his shots. But the Tempest Lightning, I think, is very, very inefficient. And you saw all the Stone Shaper had to do was keep proccing his Stone Skin, keep getting all that free armor, and there's nothing that the Tempest can do.
Look at the Alacrity race going on, a little bit of a mini game.
Love
as
it.
Diego is going to secure the kill. Peppers was taken. Each other, they're both in their race cars going for a ride here, but Diego is the victor. Takes the kill onto him. That is his second of the game. Keep that in mind. 20 people left, including Diego. So he has an opportunity to have a big game potentially. Kep as well has been having consistent performances, but no pop-offs, unfortunately. The one thing about these competitive events, too, is that having 1 or 2 games where you go insanely aggressive and having a crazy pop-off is always in your advantage. You're allowed to throw away 2 games, so just going hard for 2 of those matches is a win-win situation. I've been disappointed that Kep hasn't been playing more aggressive, but look at him approach this fight now. All purple's all over him as he looks over the top. Takes a flight rune as well. Does get hit with a little bit of wind spam on the way out for his troubles. And Banana Blade picks up a kill on the kill feed as well. 18 people left in this game, OSK. It's coming down to it.
Yeah, and I think that was T-Foul he just ran into. I noticed the wind and the toxic, and also he is running that skin. I don't know the name of it. I think it's a little new, but I'm going to call it the female Yasuo skin because that's what it reminds me of. We have Gummy God playing on the Stone Shaper. He is going to try to hit stone on the ground while his opponent's in the air, so it's not going to work out well for him, and he is getting outplayed right now. This is excellent job from his opponent. Unfortunately, makes a quick misstep and does find himself on the ground. Now he's on the back foot. Gummy is in the driver's seat in this fight. He just needs to make more use of his fire, I believe, and really know what sort of terrain the stone can travel over and what it can't. You can see he only has about 15 HP left. He needs to chase him down, needs to find out his hiding spot. There he is. A fire shot will do it. Unfortunately, it's just taking too long for him. I don't think
just out of his reach, unfortunately, there. But he's still following that kill, OSK. He's not giving up yet. You see the Stone Shaper follow him through. This is a big disadvantage of Stone Shaper, the lack of mobility in the class. You see him get locked up with that tornado. Now he's trying to turn the fight. Both players are so low. Gummy maybe has a little bit of an HP advantage from the start of that fight, trying to connect off the top. Now watching the Tempest, trying to time his slam, but it's just too low of the low ground. He's getting worked a little bit now by the Tundra as another
here comes the third party.
Approaching. Gummy has to be careful, backing out of this one completely. 15 people left in the game as Gummy throws down the firewall. Now trying to make a bit of space for himself. He sees how low this opponent is, though. Gummy takes it right over the hill. Mancy gets put down as Gummy gets down on his first kill. 12 people left in the game, including the one we're watching now, as T-Fel also gets a kill in the kill feed.
Yeah, and you're seeing the Scavenger really do some work for him right there. It did restore 25 health, 25 armor, so very nicely done by him. Unfortunately, it's going to be rendered useless as he just gets hit for almost all of the recovery he just made. Thankfully, he is running recovery and will be extra tanky. He's going to find this opportunity to heal up right behind the hill. His opponent doesn't see him, so he's not going to be able to really confidently land another shockwave to interrupt the healing, so he's going to get off scot-free. Soth, on the other hand, is rocking the Pyromancer. This is a fairly even match, and now they are both at about 40 HP. Oh no, we switch off.
This quick... Sometimes the spectator client does do a quick slide. We're getting word that it was not the spectator manually pressing spacebar, so that's just unlucky. We're going to have to keep on riding with it as Zaru is now trading another close fight, as that doesn't count as an air shot off the top. It's the same fight, apparently. So both of them are just going to keep on trading, and I think they're both going to look for the reset. 11 people left in the game. Zaru was looking for his first kill of the match. Doesn't quite get it, though, unfortunately enough.
Yeah, they are going to do a quick handshake and let each other heal. And Zaru finding himself on the back foot here. He was just in the driver's seat, and now just a little bit of combust will finish it off. But he's going to find himself on the high ground, and now all he needs to do is just land a quick little shot, but none of them are going to connect anything. This is a very, very long and drawn-out fight. They're both low health. This is bad for both of them. All it takes is a third party to go ahead and clean up. And then, meanwhile, in the kill feed, we're seeing Jetterbooks absolutely school people with the pyro. Look at him go. 3 names already. Never mind, we are in the middle of this fight again. Another handshake to quickly heal off. They're having a beautiful, beautiful sparring match right here. I want to see about that cover. That cover was so smart. Unfortunately, the zone is going to put a nail in the coffin for him, and Soth will land a free shot. And now he's going to have an opportunity to go ahead, get his armor back up, and he is back in the middle of this game. Excellent stuff from Soth. My third place pick, easily going to step up and try to take second.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice, calm play. I think something that some people overlook when they're watching this game at a competitive level is how much pressure is on when you get hit with multiple fireballs. Your screen is lighting up. You know that you're in a do-or-die situation. Soth doing a great job of staying calm. Kep as well getting a kill there. And we're angled over onto Muff now as he just barely gets out of the way of that firewall. Does take a talk slap from out of nowhere, though, so that's going to corrode his armor additionally. Now he's rotating through the side, does have dash up cooldown just as we mentioned it. Gets through as the Tox continues to chase Muffin. Going to be a hard squeeze to get out of here. Is on Stone Shaper, though, so maybe if he can get some high ground just pushing down on an opponent, he might be able to get an advantageous fight. Nonetheless, Muffin is just getting chased through. Takes another dash. Nice use of the momentum. Does get a little bit of space, but it's not quite enough. The boulder will follow as the Tox continues to chase, and Muffin is getting just followed to his death. He actually might have gotten enough space due to another opponent filtering in, but it doesn't look like it, OSK. It looks like he's in trouble. Still getting pushed right now. Muffin takes a huge stone shot to the side of the forehead, and a boulder as well, but somehow it actually blocks up the side of the tree. Getting blessed by the RNG gods a little bit there as Muffin unloads double boulders, but neither connects. Now Muffin is going to just get pushed off the side. Wow, a dash room just barely avoiding the shots as Tfal will be the one to mop it up like a janitor. Jumping through again, Tfal just has no fear in his heart. Focused mana about to tick up. He's on Tempest for game 6 with 5 kills. He was telling chat he was going to have a game 6 pop-off, and I think we're watching it live, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Gummy God gets sank. Tfal now focusing onto his next target. 5 people left. He throws down the Tornado. OSK, this one's going to come down to some chaos.
Yeah, and you see he's making very, very good work of making sure to space out his wingspan between the shots. He wants that extra bit of mana to charge back up so he can get the proc on the focus mana, and that is a 30% increase in his spell damage if he can land it. And we're just seeing him in his natural habitat. He's flying around. He has a lot of movement. I mean, one of the best pieces of movement that you'll see in Spellbreak from Tfal right now. And he's just going to back away saying, no one can approach me. I have the mechanics. I'm very, very confident. And I'm just going to heal up for some shield and then go right back and smack you in the face. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And now we see Kep also opting for the Tempest right here. Not quite as efficient as Tfal might be. He does need a little bit of help landing those fire shots. Hopefully he can make it work for himself. He is doing a pretty good job of kiting, though. That is very impressive.
Yeah, for sure. You did see that spring step as well to dodge a little bit of incoming damage as Kep notices that the person in front of him is very high HP. Nice. Kep now has to take this slowly. Jumps onto the top of the 44 to the dome as Kep continues to rain down damage. Remember that there's still 5 people in the game. Make that 4. Tfal just got sniped. Soth is going to ruin his game 6 chances as there's 3 kills to Kep's name and 3 people left in the game.
That
and
actually
Kep
works.
Sneaks a pot. Just barely. The AoE will still pick him up. But he gets secure onto live too. Doesn't have scav, so resources will not be granted through the kill. But nonetheless, Kep just getting confident. 4 kills to his name, looking to have that aggressive game we've been waiting for from Kep. Another air shot follows. Just barely misses the follow-up. And Kep is looking to eat. OSK, he's just pushing these advantages. Spring Step is just being used off cooldown consistently to control the high ground area.
Yeah, call it the catcher's curse. I think you might have heard me that he needs to land more shots, and there he is landing them right now. That epic fire doing so much damage, and look at that. The confidence that his opponent isn't going to turn around. He's playing on the outside of this third-party position. He knows that if someone comes up here, it's probably a heal, and now he's going to get some free damage onto his opponent there. Gets a nice float from the tornado, and all he needs to do is just rain down from above, and he'll be just fine. Look at him, the confidence going in. Just needs to connect a few shots onto this man. Get a little bit of damage over time. There we go, armor gone, and now the health will be melted as well.
Yeah, Kep just drilling whatever is in front of him as we continue to watch this fight. Nice air shot to follow it up. One more will do if he can connect it. Oh, there it is! Soth, I'm sorry, son. You gotta sit as Kep finishes his 5th kill, looking for one more to end the game, getting a little bit of DPS check with the win. Kep is chilling for this one if he can mop it up. He has a huge HP and armor advantage, but he's just gonna continue to push that advantage, taking a big pot, forcing his opponent to come to him with the positioning, and now he's just gonna push this advantage. This is some textbook work from Kep, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what we want to see out of a game 6, the Tempest pop off.
Definitely, and you see him revert to the more reliable source of damage in the Tempest kit, the wind spam coming out. Unfortunately, his opponent is most definitely running recovery, but that fire is going to hit. Beautiful mechanics coming out from Kep. And he actually takes down Asmul rather easily, firing from above and landing every shot that he needs to. Beautiful stuff.
His tracking as he followed players in and out of the sky. I know it is a weird thing to see Tempest with Spring Step. It is almost a must for a lot of players to run Dash Tempest. That seems like the most common combination. But kept throwing a wrench into the meta just a little bit with the Spring Step. I'm not sure if that's going to stick as a pick in the meta, but nonetheless, he made it certainly look good as he wipes out the rest of that lobby. I'm just watching it on the delay, and it looks beautiful. Speaking of watching it again, let's get a replay of that last little 20-second pocket of fight.
Definitely. And just like I said, you saw him resort to a little bit of wind spam. I don't know if he's going to do it enough for the replay. His fire shots are actually on point right here. And I think he's going to go ahead and try to do it right here. Yep, there you go. Prevent him from any sort of recovery spam. And now the shot from above, just going to seal it out while maintaining the high ground. And that's exactly what you want to do in any circumstance, especially for a Tempest, though.
Yeah, he was definitely keeping that top high ground. I see a couple people mentioning it in the chat as it runs through. He was making them come to him. I mentioned it very briefly, but that decision right there to take a potion, that was intentional big brain play right there. He checks DPS. My small brain, I would have pushed that fight, but kept knows I have an HP advantage already. I have an armor advantage already, and I have resources in my pocket. I have high ground as well. Everything is in my favor. I'm just going to drink this pot and you're going to come to me. And he sat him down the second he did. That is the end of game 6. I think we should pull up the scorecards, aka the score sheet, to break it down just a little bit for you guys. And we're going to wrap up this event. Thank you again for all of your support. We really do appreciate you guys coming through for the first live Spellbreak competitive event since release. We love you guys.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to get a little bit of a bigger look here onto the stats. Of course, to no one's surprise, Tfal is going to be at the top. But my pick for third place did me one better. And you see him sitting up at second place. Soth coming out and showing us, hey, you put me down just a little bit. I want to go ahead and show you exactly what I can do. And he is doing some amazing work in these tournaments. Second place in the first quali, almost certainly going to make it to finals if everything checks out.
Yeah, what a performance from him coming out there. We see all sorts of new names on the scoreboard, and that is what gets me the most excited. You see players like Frozen up there on the scoreboard, people like Lord Pingu, who took a massive Game 1 victory, which was super impressive to watch. All around, this event has just been so much fun to cast, watch, and spectate. I can't wait for next week's event. It is at the same time, same schedule, 11 a.m. Eastern for qualifier number 2 on Saturday. You can also double check the schedule in case there has been some added qualifiers to compensate for the amount of interest we've seen in these events. And we had to add a couple qualifying events to make sure we can try to get everybody involved. So make sure you check the Discord to see the schedule and see what events you can place, what events you can join for, and just join the community in general. But again, looking at the scores here, we see some pretty big upsets. You want to mention some of those, OSK? Bring that up.
Yeah, I want to talk about third place. I honestly did not expect to see this, but remember, we were talking so highly about Frozen in queue. He takes third place over a lot of our vets that we're used to seeing in the closed beta. He's above Darkbreakers and above Kep, both coming in 4th and 5th place, respectively. And his single game highest damage is actually above that of Soth, with his single game highest exiles being 7. That's very, very, very impressive to him. I actually am very surprised to see that. So that is a brand new player off of release coming out and showing us how it's done against these vets. And that's exactly what I'm looking for in these qualities. I want to see some new names. I want to see the new generation of players sort of really show what they can do. And Frozen is doing a very good job of that. Excellent job to him.
100%. So we're just going to wait a little bit longer now to get one more final scene with the scores, and then we will wrap it up. But looking at the larger board, I also want to note the single game highest exiles was Tfal with 13, and it wasn't even close. That was the farthest pop-off I've seen in that first qualifier. Since release, that's the hardest pop-off I've seen in a scrim or a competitive game, and that was fun to watch. We're going to see the rest of these games unfold over the coming weeks. Remember to join the Discord so you don't miss out on the upcoming chances at the money and at just improving at the game. Thanks again for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We do appreciate all the support. We're just waiting a little bit longer to get the final scoreboard up for you, a nice refined Phoenix scoreboard, and then we're going to run it out to another community member. OSK, anything to add?
Yeah, I want to point out Tfal. You see that little dark highlighted area, like right next to his name with all his values next to it? That's actually what it means whenever you have the highest value, the highest scoring single things. Like you see single game highest damage, single game highest exiles, it's highlighted. That means he did the best in that category in the qualifier, and it's all across the board. He did the best in every single category. So I just wanted to point that out in case those of you who thought it was just an extra little bit of aesthetic. No, it's actually pointing out he did the best in every category. So.
For sure. Now let's bring up that final 5 scoreboard right now as it's ready to go. And we've been keeping you for long enough. And let's check it out here. Again, look at Soth in second place. He's not technically a new to release player, but he is certainly newer to the comp scene than some of the names you see around. And he had a performance today. I think other than T-File, of course, getting the consensus MVP, my personal MVP goes to Soth.
Definitely. And I would say most improved player again, and definitely one that I didn't expect to be up there. Frozen NQ, very nicely done. I'm very proud that we were able to disprove my top 3 picks. I'm glad to see some new names up there. Of course, Darkbreakers, my second place pick coming in 4th. Still good job to him. And Kep, I honestly, like, no disrespect to Kep, I did not expect to see him in the top 5. So very, very nicely done. He's showed us what he can do in that last game, and I'm honestly glad he's up here. I'm glad to see some names I didn't expect. So good stuff. I'm very, very, very excited to see what qualifier number 2, 3, all the way up to 5. I'm not sure how many we're going to end up with, but this is getting exciting, and I'm really glad to see some new names up there.
And as we wrap it up here, right before I send you guys off to a raid, I want to acknowledge the fact that our qualifier system takes the top 25 scores over the 5 qualifiers available. So the games will just get more and more intense. You can refer to this qualifier 1 to see, okay, everybody, if you want to get number 1 now, you have to beat T-Fall's 1600 score. If I want to place above X, I need to get X number. And the competition just gets tighter and tighter as the weeks go on. And I'm going to see you guys next week. I know you guys are all going to be here next Saturday, same time, same event, except this time qualifier number 2 with some new players, new names, and all the rest of the same action. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to let the delay run out on a blank screen or on a BRB, and then we're going to send the raid so you guys are all at the same time. Thank you again.
Thank you, guys. See you later.